On so fast.
Hey there! Happy Friday!
Woohoo!
What?
Hey guys!
Yes, the Skeptical Health Bar is open for business! What a week.
What a long week.
Yeah, I am so glad to be out with all of you bitches. I love it.
Drinking up, baby.
Divine
Drinking
Donna
up.
has shown herself. Wow. Okay. Wow, look, we got a whole bunch of people. I think we got some new people. We got Mick commented even before we started the show. We got John, Cora. Hi, Cora. I think you're new here. Bob, Diane, JD, Kelly. What's up, girl? I was just on your podcast a couple hours ago. Aaron, Aaron. What's up? Stacy, dudes. Heath. Nice. All right. All right. So let's go over the rules before we do anything else. Let me find my rules here. All right. So rule number 1 is you are welcome to ask any kind of paranormal question your little heart desires. I'm all for it.
John says he's getting no sound.
Uh-oh. No sound. Well, you might have
your side?
You might have to turn your volume out, John. Getting no sound. Everybody else seems to hear me. I think I hear me. I think so. All right. Let me go back to the rules because you threw me off, John. Turn your volume on. All right. So rule number 1, you can ask any kind of paranormal question. I will give you my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's not always facts, but it's my opinion.
It says YouTube.
A skeptical opinion. So let's see. Oh, thank you for the buttons. Oh, you're welcome, Jade Kidden.
Oh, you got him?
Yes,
Woo!
awesome.
That was quick.
Rule number 2 is I don't know everything, and I really don't. I make it seem like I know a lot, but I really don't. I fake that shit. But if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know. I'll try and look it up, or I'll write down notes so I can look it up later and try to get you an answer. Rule number 3. This is the golden rule. Listen to Patrick Swayze. Be nice. That's it. This is a podcast for discussions, and you can debate. You can go back and forth. You can have different views. That's cool. But if you start name calling, Divine Donna over here,
Donna, woohoo!
will boot your ass out of here.
I got my little mouse.
And we've done it a couple times.
Little button.
The booting mouse. The booty mouse.
The booty mouse.
All right.
Moving on.
So moving on.
I'm glad, John. Did you have too much to drink already?
John had a lot.
TV was muted.
John.
Come on.
I think John's feeling good. All right. So rule number 4. Please put a Q in front of your questions for tonight, especially for tonight, because tonight's pretty much Q&A, except I have a theme, which I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, put a Q in front of it. That makes it easier for us, mostly Donna, to pick out the questions and address them so that we don't miss any. And then number 5, my favorite rule of all is to drink up. Toast to everybody.
What y'all drinking tonight?
That showed up. All right. So, oh, wow. Right out of the bat. Or right out of the bat? No, that's wrong.
Right out of the box.
Right out of the box. How much have I had to drink tonight?
I don't know, Kenny.
All right. So let me get this. Let me go back to my main thing. Let me go back to the comments and see what JD has. I didn't even get to the theme. Let me get to the theme first, and then I'll get to your question. So the theme tonight is basically what it takes to investigate mysteries. And I want to put a disclaimer on that, is that this is not like the end-all, be-all encyclopedia on how to solve mysteries. This is coming from my perspective. These are my steps. These are things that I wrote down when I thought up that... Wait, there you go. These... what I thought about when I came up with this theme, and I was like, you know what? I want to address certain topics and just put it out there. Methods that I use, or just, I wouldn't say protocols, but I guess ideas that I follow when I'm investigating mysteries. So I just wanted to put it out there and talk about it for a little bit because, well, I couldn't find a guest. That's pretty much it. I was like, I got to come up with a theme. But I don't always like doing guests all the time because then, you know, I don't know. I like interacting with you guys, just myself. So, all right. So wow. We're getting some questions. I'm seeing a bunch of Qs.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right.
Producer Donna.
Right.
What the hell?
One. JD.
What do we got?
One?
Yeah, put it up there. Let's see what it is. I think the most important part of starting any investigation is clearly understanding what the claims are. Do you think there's most important or good starting point to any investigation? Yeah, the good starting point is having a mystery. That's really what it is. You need to have something to investigate, and it's got to be worth investigating. It's got to be, because there's so much out there, and especially when we're talking about what we're talking about is paranormal topics. There's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of tabloid just junk that is like a one and done kind of thing where it appears in something like the Mirror, the Daily Mirror, or something like that, like a tabloid where it could be hit or miss. Sometimes they go viral, sometimes they don't, and they fade away within a day. And you might stumble upon it in your news feed. And is it worth it? No, it really isn't. Starting good starting point for any investigation. I guess you start with the source. You know, what does that first source say? And then you branch off from there. So does it refer to other people? Go find those people. Does it refer to other articles? Is it a reprint? Because you got to understand, like when you read these, I'm going to do air quotes, news articles, sometimes they are not really news articles, they're stories, but they are repeated. And it's like, what is it? The Newswire or Associated Press, where they put it out there and everyone kind of jumps on it. And different tabloid authors will take it, they'll write the story, they change a paragraph or two, and then they promote it as their own. And it's just to get clicks. So sometimes it's hard tracking down the original source, but it really depends on, is it worth it or not? And I really when I look at something and I decide whether or not I'm going to investigate it, I usually look at how much information is available. I spend 5 minutes. If I can't get a bulk of information within 5 minutes, and that's not saying getting answers, that's saying if I can find like a bunch of sources within 5 minutes, then it's like, all right, there might be something to this. I might be able to dig and find answers. But if I'm finding nothing, then I move on. So, all right. So that's good. I hope that answered your question, JD.
I'm just skipping ahead a little bit. Don't freak out. I'll get back to them.
Oh, boy. Bob's question is, for a paranormal investigation, do you think it is important to strictly follow the scientific method, or are there other steps you need to add? So when it comes to the scientific method, if you're experimenting, if you're performing an experiment, then I definitely say you follow the scientific method, but understand that there is no one method there, because not every experiment has to do all the steps. And right now I can't give any example on the top of my head because I can't think that fast, but I would definitely follow the scientific method as it pertains to the experiment that you're doing. But when it comes to just investigating some claims, it's not always the scientific method that is what I use. Sometimes it's a matter of just looking at a photo, going to the scene, finding out what's going on there. Sometimes it's talking to neighbors or talking to the eyewitnesses and see if there's inconsistencies. Sometimes, what else? I have a handy board back here, a poster that I had made about solving mysteries. So let's see. Oh, who are they? That's an important one. That is kind of outside the scientific method. You have to figure out who is making the claim, because if it's somebody like, well, I don't want to name names too early in the show and get in trouble, but if it's someone that's a known hoaxer, if you know that they've created hoaxes in the past, if they've exploited things, if they've taken money for deceptive practices in the past, then their claims aren't worth anything. Like, it's not worth investigating, or maybe it is just to expose them. So that's not necessarily the scientific method. It's investigative method. So that's how I would class that. Investigative method versus scientific method. Wow, I need to drink more.
Is that the problem?
I need to drink more.
Drink more.
I'm too sober.
Drink more.
I need
Drink
to do
more.
some shots.
Shots. I can make that happen.
So I hope that answers your question. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, because it's not one versus the other. It's pretty much both working together. They're just different methods. So all right, let's move on. James, will you have a table at the bash? So he is talking about the Gettysburg Bash, the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. Yes, I will have a table there. Both I and Donna will have a table. She's gonna have her Lucky Tiki creations, and I'm gonna have my Skeptical Help Bar booth.
Mhm.
So I'll be there in person, taking on questions. And I also heard rumor that I'll be in the dunk tank.
He's gonna be in the dunk tank.
All right. So are we caught up yet? Oh
no, we got
what necklace are you wearing, Kenny? So this is my Thor's hammer, my Mjolnir, held up by Odin's wolves. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't give a close look, but there you go. So that's pretty much the symbol of my show.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So are we caught up on questions? I didn't even get to
we
the
are not
theme
caught
yet.
up.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to hold off?
No,
What?
you know what? We'll keep going because
They
it's a
read
Q&A.
this.
You know, you guys want this. I mean, I have plenty of notes to go over,
No,
but
we got tons of questions.
let's go. All right, API case files. Well, what's up, guys? Is there any reliable way to assess witness credibility? Assess witness credibility. Wow. I'm sure there's tables out there or certain questionnaires, and that would be more for my friend Dave Schumacher. He would probably know more about that. But when I go through witness credibility or eyewitness testimony, I get the story. I try to get it as soon as possible. I mean, that's rule number one. You got to get it as soon as possible, because the more time you wait, the more chances they have to fill in the gaps. And it's not always on purpose. It's not always because they do it deliberately, although some do. But it's because the more you think about it, the more you retell it, the more you hear feedback from other people that can possibly influence you, the more the story evolves and grows. So you definitely need to interview them as soon as possible and get the story. You also need to clarify details, which is one of the steps that I have on my poster back here. Clarify the details, because if they give you general details, as in like, oh, I saw a ghost and it was a woman and she was wearing period dress. And this is an example I use a lot. You have to ask, what do you mean by period dress? Like, what's that mean? Which period, which class of upper class, lower class, middle class, poor, is it work clothes? It's Sunday best. What are you talking? We need to clarify these details. So is there a reliable way? I mean, this is the way I do it. I take down the details. I check the details. I see what they're talking about. If they were actually there at the time, or if they're repeating somebody else's story, because that's a problem too. I've seen that where a team, say 5 people, were at a location, and they 2 of them have an experience, and a third one comes in and starts relating something that happened in a different part of the house. And then the 2 people that are telling me their experience incorporate details of that third person, when it didn't actually happen where they were. So there's a big problem there. Bob says witness credibility, body language is important. I agree. I totally agree. That's one thing I look for. If their pupils dilate, they're most likely lying or embellishing. I don't. Okay. Shut up. You want me to pronounce that word? Parasympathetic.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Bob. Bitch. No.
He's not drunk yet.
So the problem with that, I understand where you're coming from, and I've read about that before. I don't know if it's completely reliable. Plus, you have to be like, your pupils. I see them. You have to get too close. You have to study them, and they're going to know you're looking at them, and that's going to make them awkward or feel awkward. I found that if you have a conversation with somebody and you're face to face with them and you maintain eye contact, the majority of the time, I maintain eye contact, they will always break eye contact. People don't like being stared at, and when you stare directly into their eyes, they get freaked out and they want to look away. They want to look around like this, and they're thinking. I do find that people, when they're trying to fill in the blanks that they don't know, like fill in the gaps for details that are missing, they will look around. They will look up, and it doesn't matter which side. It really doesn't. I've seen people go both ways. Go both ways, where they're looking up and they're like, this and that, it doesn't necessarily mean they're lying or making something up. Although I look at other things like body language and nervousness. If they can't give me an answer that should be readily available, like in a description of somebody, when they say like, "Oh, I got a great look at them. I saw them. I know exactly what they look like." And then you ask what color shirt or did it have buttons, and they're like, that tells me that they really don't have as much detail as they think they do. And then, well, you trying to move me on?
I am.
Oh my God, I'm not done yet. But right. I lost my train of thought.
He's done talking about that. Witnesses. You're talking about eyewitnesses.
Witnesses. So there's a lot of things. Body language is part of it. And I also look for, I interview other people and say, hey, were you there? Yeah. Tell me your story over here. Stay away from that person. Let's talk privately and see if the details mesh together. So I know there's ways, and I know there's plenty of books out there. I have a few of how to interview witnesses and how to tell. I actually have one by an FBI agent, a retired agent, that wrote a couple books about body language and facial expressions and stuff. And I've seen some of it like pan out or play out as he wrote it, but I see other things where it doesn't play out how he wrote it. And it's just because people are kind of nervous because they're not used to being questioned. If you have someone, and I'm not bragging, but someone like me questioning you, I'm usually pretty serious and pretty straightforward when I'm questioning and I'm getting to the point. And that can be intimidating for someone. So if they're trying to tell you a story, they could be telling the truth, but because they're not used to being questioned in a serious manner, it throws them off. They get nervous, they get shaky, they get sweaty, they're nervous. So the anxiety goes up through the roof and they're having trouble telling you the story. Tim Vickers, language, emotion, behavior, 3 ways people communicate. Watch to see how the 3 work together as someone talks. Good one. All right. So I'm ready for the next question.
Oh, yeah, just give me a freaking minute now.
Oh, that's all you do. Callie.
Trying to be funny.
Can fire extinguishers be accidentally photographed as girl twin spirits? Yes. That's a great example. That was a photo. I saw that photo where it was a blurry picture, and someone claimed that it was a twin girl spirits in I believe a hotel room. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that blurry picture made the rounds and people were like, holy shit. And you get all the comments. Good catch. That's awesome. That's great. Wow. Can't wait to go there. And then somebody produced a clear picture of the exact same hallway, the exact same angle to show that it was actually fire extinguishers.
Wow.
So bad. And that, thank you, Kelly. That is that is why it's so important to not take things at face value, to investigate, to do the job that you claim to do. If you say you're a paranormal investigator, fucking investigate. And don't just go off of a blurry picture. It took me 3 minutes. I know. You know what? There are sometimes people ask me questions or like, hey, what do you think this is? Or, I saw this on the news. What do you think it is? And all I do, I pick my phone and say, hey, Google, what's this? And I get the news report. It comes right up. And I try to straddle that line, where it's, I don't want to be mean and I don't want to be a dick, and say, you know what, use Google, it's on your phone. You used your phone to text me this question. Why didn't you use it to look up in Google? I don't want to be that mean guy, but then again, I do want to be like, yo, Google, Google it, save yourself some time. Just Google it yourself and figure it out. You take 5 minutes to look something up and you can get your answer instead of, sending off to somebody else and saying, hey, I saw this. I don't know what it is. Practice those skills. If you're going to investigate things, if you're a ghost hunter or cryptic hunter or UFO hunter or whatever, research. Sometimes it really bothers me. It really does. Because it shows a laziness in people sometimes. And again, I'm not trying to be mean. This is tough love. It's laziness that engulfs this community sometimes, or the generations. I don't know what it is, but some people are fucking lazy and they just don't look it up themselves. They want other people to look it up for them and just tell them the answer. And that's why this job is so hard, because I do put the time in. I do spend hours and days and weeks and months and years sometimes working on one case. And it's because I'm doing it myself. If I reach out, and that's one of the points I have here, is to reach out to others that are experts. You want to reach out and say, hey, I came up with this idea from this research. I read this. It says this. I'm putting 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together, and I'm getting 8. Right? Is that 8? Good.
2, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
That's 6.
6, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. I think I did 4.
I don't think you did.
All right. Well, it's one of those numbers. I'm not good at math, so but you put it all together, and then you consult an expert, and say, hey, this is what I think. What do you think? What's your opinion on this? And then, you see what they say. That's not bothering. That's not getting someone else to do your work. That's verifying your work. And I think that's, don't be lazy. Nice. I think that's important. I think that's really important.
Important for the night.
Don't be lazy. Do the work. It's okay to get people to verify it, but do the work yourself first. Don't let somebody else do the work for you. And I've had one person that I used to be friends with that would ask you questions, a lot of questions about a certain topic, and then would turn around and write something up and everything that you said and pass it off as their own. And I can't stand that. I really can't stand that. That's so horrible because you're basically stealing someone else's work and saying, hey, math is Kenny. It's the paranormal. Again, Bob, fuck you.
That was priceless. Sorry, I had to put that
I'm not going to be able to monetize this live video because there's too many F-bombs in it.
Moving on.
Moving on. How we doing?
We're doing good.
Heath, what's up? Heath, how you doing? Would you like to investigate a haunted hospital? Sure. As long as it's got claims. And here's the thing. So there's a difference between investigating claims and going on a ghost hunt. And a ghost hunt, just to put the definitions out there, a ghost hunt to me is more or less you go to a spooky place that has a reputation for being haunted, or maybe it doesn't. But you go there, you kind of sit there for the night and you do a stakeout. You sit around, you ask questions, you see if something happens. It's fun, I guess, to hang out with your friends. And I do them. I go to a lot of the pay-to-play ones where I get to hang out with my friends. You pay like $20, $25, which I don't pay much more than that because I don't think it's worth it. But I hang out. Then on the other side, there's investigating. And in order to investigate, you need specific claims. You need testable claims. You need something where it's like, all right, every night, 2 a.m., a shadow person walks down this hallway every night. Like, without fail, you can set your clock to it. That's a testable claim. And that I am totally into. Yeah, I'll be out there. Like, where can I go? Can I make it out on a weekend? Let's see it, because that would be a perfect opportunity. I would love that. And that's what I look for when somebody asks me to come out and tag along. I usually ask, like, all right, so are we ghost hunting or are we actually investigating something? Is there something to investigate? Because I base what I bring on the claims that we're going to test. So I have a nice backpack, or actually it's not a backpack, it's like a side pack. It's a man purse, a big one, with attachments too.
Bigger than a fanny pack.
Oh, it's bigger than a fanny pack. That's definitely. It's like a big hips pack kind of thing. It's huge. That's what she said. So I have a bunch of tools that I bring. It's not ghost hunting gadgets, but different tools depending on the claims. So it really depends on what we're talking about here. If it's a hospital that has specific stuff that's happening that we can actually set up for, then by all means, yes, I'm into it. If it has claims that's happened in the past that we can investigate the quote unquote scene of the crime, I'm totally into it. If it's just random stuff where maybe just feelings or just random things that happen, there's no pattern, there's no timing, there's nothing, then, I might still come out. We can hang out, chill. I might still do
The
it.
peaches want to hang out with you.
The peaches?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They says, come hang out with your peaches.
Oh, definitely. I love coming out. I love hanging out with them. They let me pretty much do whatever I want. So that's nice. That's nice. Stacy, at what point did you become a skeptic? A skeptical. Become a skeptic. I'm just teasing you. First we hydrate. So the skeptical thing was not like one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to be a skeptic. It was a gradual thing. I was a ghost hunter. We were part of a ghost hunting team. We had our own ghost hunting team for a while. And the more I learned about photography, and that was really my gateway into skepticism, the more I learned about photography, the more I understood that these anomalies we were getting, that people were getting, the orbs, I hate them, the ecto, the apparitions, the shadows, the streaks, the light painting, that's what it is, the streaks of light that go around. I realized what was really going on. I realized, like, not only could I replicate them, but the conditions that people were getting them under they supported these kind of anomalies. They supported these kind of mistakes. So it wasn't paranormal to me. It was photography errors. It was operator error. That was pretty much what it was. And learning more about photography, actually doing photography as a part-time job for a couple years, I understood a lot more, and that got me into not only the photography literature, because I would start reading manuals and how-to books, and especially books. I'm big lately on books that teach you old school photo manipulation. I was going to say Photoshop, but well before Photoshop, talking like way back, before film. We're talking glass plate photos, how to fake them, how to change them, how to alter people's appearances. And I'm loving that stuff. But this really got me into more of the science stuff. And I stumbled upon Skeptical Inquirer. I found the work of Ben Radford, Joe Nickel, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. There's people who actually do this for a living. I want to do that. And so I've been working the last decade trying to get to that. And I'm slowly getting there. But that's what it was. It was a gradual transition. It wasn't something that happened overnight. It was gradual over many months, maybe like two years or so. JD, when you're investigating a claim, do you treat the claim as a hypothesis and try to disprove it by proposing alternate hypotheses? So you're kind of mixing the scientific method with investigative methods. So I understand where you're coming from. Basically, when you're investigating a claim, I'm saying, okay, I go into it thinking, what's causing this? I'm not thinking I'm going to debunk this. I'm not saying I'm going to figure it out. It's definitely not what they're saying. My attitude is, I don't know what it is yet. I got to find out. So I go in, and I'm trying to keep my biases at bay, because I don't want to just go in thinking, oh, I'm going to disprove the shit out of this. Just wait, give me 10 minutes. I'm going to skeptic the shit out of it. That's not how it happens. I go in there. Sometimes I have an idea. So I do have a hypothesis. I have an idea of what's going on. Sometimes I don't. Like, I have no clue what's going on. But I want to go in and start looking. I want to look at the picture. I want to look at the video. I want to look at the scene. I want to test it. I want to get my spirit level out. I want to get my tape measure out. I want to take pictures. I want to look at the picture and manipulate it in my own software to see if I can get the same effect that they're doing it. So most of the time, no, I don't have any idea what it is until I start investigating it. And the more I investigate, the more I uncover, the more pieces of the puzzle I put together. Skeptic the shit out of it. I like that, Bob. I gotta write that down. Skeptic the shit out of it.
I got it.
Okay, you got it. All right. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna. Oh wait, no, I didn't lose my train. I didn't lose it. Where am I? I'm thinking. I'm getting back to it. So yeah, most of the time I don't know. I don't have an idea when I'm going in. I don't know. Even when it's based on an article or just a photograph or an idea, I have no idea. So I let the story develop as I'm investigating, and I think that's the way it should be. The data is writing the story. I'm not writing the story. I don't have the ending yet. I don't have the ending in mind. The data is flowing. I'm following it. I'm in my little investigative boat down the river of data. You like that?
Wow,
I like that. And it's
River of
leading me
data.
to the lake of conclusion.
Oh,
damn! Woohoo!
Whoa,
Hallelujah!
Wait, River of Data?
River of data to the lake of conclusion.
Lake of Conclusion.
See what happens when I drink? I get so much cooler.
Dude, if you got high, it would be even better.
Oh, I can't imagine if I got high. I'd never be able to stop the broadcast.
You wouldn't be able to.
I'd be like, we're going 24/7, bitches. Here we go.
John, you're
what
up.
is the theme tonight? John.
Like,
oh, wait, we have a theme?
Wait, that was at 9:16. So he was.
Oh, my
he
goodness.
was trying to be funny.
All right, so we're good. Oh, look at this.
What?
Getting questions like 15 minutes behind. That's awesome.
Hey, I am
No,
trying to keep
I'm
up.
fine. I'm fine.
Go.
No.
But I have skipped around, so we're still good.
All right, we're good. All right, so the theme tonight.
Oh, wait, you're doing
oh,
that?
my God.
You're doing that?
Wait, okay. No, I'll keep going. I mean, I put the theme up in the beginning, so I'm cool.
Theme. Investigations.
So it's what's
Whatever
it take
you
to
guys-
investigate mysteries?
Yeah, or whatever you guys want to talk
So,
about.
all right, what's that question? What
Here,
was that?
here
Go
we
ahead,
go.
put that up. What does it take to investigate mystery? Oh, that's the theme. What's involved? What do you need? What do you need? What type of equipment? All right, that's what I put.
There you go.
That's what I put. So yeah, that's it.
Are we going to talk about this, or do you want to move on?
So you know what? Are we almost caught up?
Yeah, we have 2 more questions that are there.
All right.
If you want to go, do you want to do
Oh
those?
my
fast?
goodness! Wow. All right, if I can do them, yeah. I see one question I can do really fast. But go ahead. What do you
Which
got?
one were you putting up?
Oh, well, this one. There you go. Jade Kitten. Oh, I should say tonight's episode is brought to you by Jade Kitten. Because Jade Kitten became a Patreon of mine. And she gets to pick a topic in the future. But I also told her that I was going to... basically, this episode was sponsored by her. So there you go. Jade Kitten, thank you so much. You are our sponsor. Official sponsor for tonight. So there you go. But do I have any pets? Yes, we have Chewy.
One pet.
Chewy. She's currently hiding underneath Donna.
Yeah, they got fireworks here for some
there were fireworks
reason.
and she freaked out. So she's
calming
under the
down.
chair.
She's got her jacket on. She's good.
Okay. So, John Kennedy, how much of a donation would it take to get you high during a podcast?
Hey, let's work on that
This
one.
could be profitable.
Yeah, we could.
So
$500,
I'll
JD. Or John. Was it John? Who said that? John.
Yeah. That's the one you banned.
I'm sorry, John. It would probably take 500 because Kenny, he's got something against it. I don't know. It doesn't really work for him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it's worked like twice.
Yeah.
But most of the I've experimented with legal drugs.
Yes, they're legal.
Let me just say that it's legal. It's not I don't do anything illegal. I don't like doing anything illegal, but I don't like being not in control of myself. And I find that like some I don't know if I'm not even allowed to say this, but well, I don't know. Donna's allowed to do it.
Medical marijuana.
I'm allowed to, but I always try what she does because I want to make sure if something goes wrong or if something behavior-wise is out of whack, I want to know exactly what she's experiencing. Yeah. So that if something does go wrong, I can do something about it, or I know how to explain it to medical personnel when I have to call. If I have to call. I hope I never do, but that's my philosophy with that. So otherwise, though, like drinking, I can drink. That's cool. You know, I know when to stop. I don't like being out of control. So with other that stuff being high, it doesn't work. Like,
well,
I might have tried certain things.
We found some stuff that would work.
That was supposed to like really like make you hallucinate. Nothing happened. So, but it was for science.
Yeah, it's definitely for science.
Definitely. So that's pretty much what I was saying about that.
Okay.
Wow, this took a turn.
Yeah. Well, it was a good turn.
Okay. Are we good?
No.
Oh, okay.
We have a new guy to the show, David.
What's up, David? Hold on
a second. Sorry.
Went down the wrong hole.
Oh. It went down the wrong hole.
Wrong hole.
The wrong pipe. It's the wrong pipe, not the wrong hole.
Oh, it's a hole. There's a hole at the beginning of the pipe.
Don't worry, guys. I got it. If he falls over, I'll take care of him.
All right. What's your opinion on the spirit boxes? All right, David. So my opinion on the spirit boxes is that they are useless. Completely useless. Basically, the spirit boxes are broken radios, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and I will continue to say it as long as people ask me, because this is the opinion that I have. They are broken radios. They are bringing in FM, AM stations that broadcast programs. They broadcast radio signals from radio stations. So you're getting not only broadcasts that include the news and music, but you're also getting commercials. You're getting talk radio. So those alone cover everything. You're getting sports, you're getting daily events, you're getting local events, state events, you're getting national events, you're getting world events, you're getting numbers, peoples, places, names, dates, furniture, clothing, toys, holidays, religious stuff. You're getting all of this coming over at random times. And at any given location, you can have 20, 30 stations that are all broadcasting different things at the same time. So when you're cycling through these stations and you're asking questions, yes, you're going to get something that sounds like an answer to your question. Guarantee it. But is it actually an answer, an intelligent response to your question? No. And that's easily shown by the lack of like cohesive conversation, the lack of linearity in the conversation. It doesn't go or doesn't flow in a straight line. It's all over the place. You can ask something. You can ask a question like, "What's your favorite color?" And maybe you'll get something that sounds like blue, but maybe somebody will hear chair. And instead of saying, "Hey, you didn't answer my question. I was asking about a color. You said something different. Can you give me your favorite color?" Instead of saying something like that, the conversation turns to say, "Oh, a chair. Do you want me to sit in that chair? Is it the chair that I'm sitting here? Did you die by a chair? Did you fall off a chair?" All these questions come up, and you're just looking for some kind of answer to fit the next question. And you're developing this story in your head. And when you have a group of people huddled around a spirit box, all giving their own interpretations, then everyone is creating the story. It's story time. That's basically what it is. It's story time. And if you have information about alleged haunting or alleged deaths, or even historical deaths associated with that location at the time of this spirit box session, you're going to look for answers that suit or fit that situation. And that's confirmation bias. It's subjective validation. And then you getting into some other technical terms that I can't think of right now. It's selection bias, because you're only listening for, basically, confirmation bias is you're only listening for things that hit, and you're ignoring every other thing. And that's something that's really interesting, because you can listen to these spirit box sessions and people ask questions, and I've picked out different words, but they don't fit the question, so the people ignore it. And again, it kind of contradicts what I said before, because there's all these words that have nothing to do with your question that are ignored, and they're just waiting for something that sounds like blue because you asked what's your favorite color. It just doesn't make sense. I would say, if you're going to use a spirit box, put it in a Faraday box. Put it in a really good, well-constructed Faraday cage, that blocks the FM and AM stations, and then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, if something comes through then, impressive. But otherwise, you're going to find that there is nothing coming through. Nothing at all. And I stand by that opinion until someone can put a spirit box in a Faraday cage that's a good one, not those shit ones you get from Amazon because they don't work. Like I have one that I built. I actually have two that I built, and they are sturdy. I know that they block AM radio signals. I know they block FM. I know they block two-way radios because I've had meters on the inside and a walkie-talkie on the outside. I've also had a radio inside, two radios, one FM, one AM inside the box. As soon as I close the lid, everything goes silent. So I know they work. I trust them. And every time I've used them, when I've taken them to an investigation and the ghost hunting team has reluctantly put their devices inside the box, nothing happens. So, and you might say, well, a ghost, if a ghost is made of energy, everyone drink.
Drinking up. Take a sip.
If a ghost is made of energy, then they can't get into the Faraday box. So what you do, my response to that is you open the lid and say, ghost, get in. And then you give it a minute, close the lid and see what happens. Because then once they're, if hypothetically, if they were inside of it, it wouldn't be a problem. So I hope that answered your question. That was a good question. I like that.
Yeah, this is like I guess a follow up on. I don't see what question I missed, Dave, unless you were talking about the one we just answered. But
okay, so David says you skipped my question above. Well, it's not a question. Oh, well that's it. It's not a question. But would like Kenny's input on what would make the flashlight fall over. I don't know what that means. What would make the flashlight fall over?
Is he talking about like the flashlight turn off?
The flashlight trick? Is that what you're talking about?
Dave, we need more information.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what that means. And again, if you're energy equals a drink. If you have a question, please do me a favor, put a Q in front of it, because if there is not a Q in front of it, we will probably miss it. And that's one of the rules at the beginning of the show, that it helps us figure out what it is, and you'll see in the comments. If you can see everyone's comments, because I know there's coming from Facebook and from YouTube. We got quite a few from YouTube. But definitely put a Q in front of it. What do you think about the beanies that shield paranormal? Wait, beanies? Oh, the shield paranormal investigators' brains from 5G and bad energy. Dave Schumacher didn't seem impressed.
What are they, like hats you put on your head?
They're beanies, yeah, hats.
And they're supposed to
freaking like alien people that put the tinfoil hats.
They're supposed to protect you from 5G.
No.
Like what?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Beanies that 5G and bad energy. Well, first, tell me what bad energy is. Bad, because there's energy and oh my god.
Drink.
Everybody drink.
Before we start talking about this.
All right, so oh god, I don't even know where to start. So 5G is not bad. 5G, look it up from scientific websites. I can't get into it now because I off the top of my head, I really can't give you an explanation because I don't know it well enough.
5G. Got it.
But it's not harmful to anyone. And if you're wearing a beanie,
it's not going to protect you, even if it was.
Even if it could block, if the beanie would block 5G signals, it's only going to block here. It's not going to block here. No, that's not how it works. Not how it works. And I don't know what
your mind, Kenny.
I don't know what bad energy is.
Juju.
Sorry. I'm going to turn off your mic. I'm not sure what it is, but it's the same thing. Like if I put something on my head, light is blocked from the top of my head. I look so silly looking at myself like this. But light is still reflecting off the rest of me. So fail. I need to do that. I need to get an overlay that just goes across the entire screen and goes fail, because that's a huge fail. And Tim Vickers, yes, bad energy equals inability to do work. So there would be nothing. There would be no energy.
Okay, so we
Thanks,
don't like
JD.
beanies. Moving
Beanies.
on.
How much are they? How much are they, JD?
You can actually
like,
buy them?
can you? I don't know. Like, can
Really?
you buy them off of Amazon? Is that on Prime? Can we get that
Yeah,
next
right.
day delivery?
JD, go look that up.
Because if it's cheap, I want one. Brenda, hi Brenda, from YouTube. What is your take on the Estes method? All right, so this is I wrote an article about this on Skeptical Inquirer, and if you look on my link tree, which is on the bottom underneath the banner that's scrolling across, you'll see it later. You can get to my Skeptical Inquirer articles, but I wrote about this, and the Estes method is not scientific. It is not a good investigative tool. It is severely flawed and is a waste of time, to be honest. Basically, you're doing the same thing as an EVP session using a spirit box, but the only difference is now you're putting in a person in the middle. You have a middleman that puts on headphones, and now they are spitting out the words that they hear. So if they miss a whole bunch, because if you're cycling through radio stations and listening, and you have your headphones on and you're just spitting it out, you're going to spit out just what you hear or what you can make out. And if I do that with a track, like if we record like a 5-minute track, and I put the headphones on and I spit it out, I guarantee you that the words that I produce will be different from the words Donna would produce if she was wearing the headphones. And if you were wearing the headphones, you would pick out different words or the same sounds, but you would interpret them differently. So what I'm seeing here with that, the problem with that is you're adding a human element that's biased, especially if they're a full believer in it, especially if they know the history of the location, if they know what they're looking for. You have these biases, and that definitely influences what they're going to listen for, because they're basic. It's not full priming, which is a different topic. We can talk about that in a little bit, but you're primed because if you know the history, you're primed to expect something. And like, if you know that a person died on that location from he was murdered by someone attacked him with an axe, you know that. And if something sounds like an axe, you're gonna spit that out. Whereas if somebody was killed on location, maybe they fell into a well, and you hear the word axe, you might ignore that because that's not in what you're expecting to hear. The other problem with the Estes method is that they don't use, well, as I read it, and when I researched it, and the method did not use noise canceling headphones. It used the in between. They weren't just regular headphones, but they were kind of like almost noise canceling, but not noise canceling. I actually went to a Best Buy, and when I was researching it, and I have pictures of me in the Best Buy trying on all the different headphones, and you could hear everyone. I could still hear people in the other aisle talking. The example I gave in the article was that I was listening to a salesperson try to sell a customer different headphones, and I was in a different aisle. So I was at least like 7-8 feet away, and I could still hear every word they were saying, even though I was playing music through the headphones. So, and what complicates that is if you have a beard, and there's a certain TV show on, I think, Amazon Prime that introduced this method, and the person that was wearing the headphones had a full beard and hair, so there was not a good seal. And if you don't have a good seal, you're not going to block out any kind of outside noises. You're going to hear the questions. And in the episode that I'm talking about, I think it's called Hellier, in season 1, the people that are asking the questions are only about 4 feet away, and they're not being quiet. They're out on a quiet porch in the woods. It's very quiet, but the people asking questions are not quiet. So I have no doubt that the person wearing the headphones could hear the questions. So it's a very flawed method. It's not scientific whatsoever. And it's just not valid. It's really not valid. There's too many flaws. So, whew. All right.
Okay. All right.
I hope that answered your question.
I did find David's question. He didn't put a Q there. That's why I didn't
Okay.
find it the first time. But it is here. It was a different David. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But here we go.
So we got Kenny went on a ghost investigation at
He
someone's.
went on, not
Oh, he.
he.
Well, okay. Yeah. It said ghost investigation at someone's home last Friday, and out of the 20 plus ghost investigations I've been on, something finally weird happened. My buddy Scott asked the usual question: is there anybody in here with us? And his Maglite flashlight, which is standing up, suddenly falls over. Scared the piss out of me. Nobody near it, and I tried for 10 minutes to see if the floor was unlevel, but couldn't get the flashlight to fall over. Do I believe it was a ghost? No, but it was something. Okay, so in that situation, see, I want a disclaimer here. I can only speculate because
Right.
I'm not there. I don't know the conditions it was under. I don't know the piece of furniture or whatever that the flashlight was on. I don't know who put it there. I don't know how it was set up, or who was near it, who was actually near it, because I understand that you said no one was near it, but I don't know how to confirm that. And I'm not saying you're lying. And I think Dave and I we've talked on the phone. So I think you understand where I'm coming from. It's not that I'm saying you're lying. It's just I need verification. How do I know that no one was actually near it? Or was it when it was propped up? Was it actually straight up and stable, or was it kind of on an angle and might be able to fall? Which end was it standing up on? Was it on the light side, or was it on the end where the batteries go? Because if that's the case, that's not a level surface. So yeah, any kind of vibrations, not metaphysical ones, but any kind of vibrations from people stepping around, walking around, moving around, bumping furniture, something like that, or even outside, could cause that to fall. It really, all these details come into play, and this is why investigations are so hard from afar, when I'm doing it remotely, not metaphysically either, because I'm trying to think about all the details that might be involved. So, is the furniture actually level? Is the flashlight? Because I used to have.
We used to have a mag light.
I had mag lights, but I you know what? They might be downstairs. They're probably downstairs.
Yeah, we lost power a few times in the last few weeks,
Yeah.
so they're
So-
all over the house.
Depending on the back, because yeah, if you put it inverted where the bulb end is down, usually that's pretty good. It's usually pretty level, because it's a flat surface. Well, kind of flat. But when you turn it over, that's the side usually that has the little nub where you can put a key ring on. So it's not level, and it would not be balanced. It would not be sturdy. I wouldn't trust it. And then of course you need to know if the furniture is level. I don't know what furniture it was on. Did you have a spirit level? And I'm not talking about like a paranormal tool, like a spirit level, like a regular level, a bubble level. Could you verify whether the furniture is actually level or not? What else? What else could there be? Did anyone actually bump it? Was anyone walking around at the time? Did anyone witness the flashlight fall over?
It could be a lot of things.
There's a lot. And again, all I can do is speculate right now because I don't have all the details and I can't verify the details. So unless you have video, like a wide angle view of everything that's going on, I can't give you a definite answer. I can only give you ideas. So I hope that gives you something to think about, at least. John Michael, what's up, John? If you were on a paranormal team for some reason, I like how he words that.
For some reason.
For some reason, like you were drunk and high, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll join a team."
Whatever. For some reason, we used to be on a team.
So if you were on a team for some reason, what kind of scientific-based investigations would you do? So I would try to test things again. If there's claims, if there's testable claims, and testable claims are different from just random claims. So I need to, it has to be something that you can set up for, that happens on a regular basis. So, okay, the example that I always use, and I used it earlier, but if somebody says that they have a shadow figure go down the hall at 2 a.m. every night, or let's say every Friday, 2 a.m., shadow person walks down the hall. Happened for years and years, still happens. That's testable. If somebody says, like, oh, well, I was down in the basement and I heard a bang upstairs. No idea where it came from, never found a source. It happened 2 years ago. That's not a testable claim. We can't test it. We don't know anything. We know you were in the basement, you heard a bang. So you could be in the basement, but there's no timing, there's no pattern to it. It's not a testable claim. So I guess if we did have a testable claim, and I'm going to use your example. I'm totally going to use your example from earlier today. We talked about. So Ben Rafford, my editor and great guy, skeptical investigator forever. He did an experiment where he took batteries, and he took two different. I think he had 2 packs of batteries, and what he did was he left one at home as a control, and he took one to a allegedly haunted location, and he put it in the most haunted area of that haunted location. He measured the voltage in the batteries, all the batteries, before he went and then after he went, to see if there was any drain, because so many people claim that batteries get drained by ghosts. When they try to operate their equipment, they find the batteries are dead. So he basically went to the location and said, here you go, here's a pack of batteries, have at it. And nothing happened. I repeated it. I did the same thing. I did it. I went to White Hill Mansion in New Jersey, and I did the same thing. Tim Vickers was there with me. But we did the same thing where I recorded the voltage of every battery in the pack. And I think I had 4 packs and 4 batteries in each pack. And I taped them together. So I had all the measurements. I knew exactly what they were. I took them to the location. I kept one at home. The other 3 went with me. They put them in the active areas of the mansion, and I left them there all night and basically talked to the room, the whole empty space. So basically I was talking to myself saying, hey, if any ghosts are here, if any spirits are here and you guys feed off of this stuff, here you go, take it, drain the batteries. I bought them for you, have at it. It's like a buffet, whatever you guys do. And then afterwards I took them home, measured everything when I got home. Everything was the same. There was no there was no drain, there was no decrease in voltage, nothing. And that is a testable claim, because that's a general claim that's out there. So many people say that their batteries drain when they swear that they put new batteries in a piece of equipment, then they turn it on and it doesn't work because the batteries are dead. For the most part, for me, I speculate that it's not new batteries they put in. It's batteries that have been in that device for a while, and they just finally turned it on, and they finally died, and that's it. And instead of going the logical route and saying, I should have put new batteries in them, they blame it on ghosts. So that's the kind of test I would run. And I've only done that test once, and I really need to do that again. I still have the batteries. Okay, so we're going to take our break. We're going to take our commercial break. Because I need to fill up. And
a few of our peeps need to relieve themselves.
Yeah, some of our peeps, you stay at the bar too long, you got to pee. And there's nowhere else to do except for the bathroom. So you got to go. All right.
Go.
I'm going to play our video. It's 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So that's what we all have. And you ready, set, and I'll be back in 2 minutes and 22 seconds from now. Go. Hey everyone, this is my store based on the theme of science and skepticism. It's here that you can find all kinds of shirts and hoodies, yoga pants, tote bags, the fanny packs I know you guys love, masks and pillows, all with science and skepticism as the theme. I even have hoodies for your pets. That's right, your dog or cat can wear one of these things. I also have a general store that sells more inspirational quotes or, drinking stuff, because I like that kind of thing. I also have a store set up for our 3 Tortured Souls podcast, which we do Saturday nights. You can find shirts and Tim Vickers' favorite drinking vessel, the mug. I also have a store tailored a little bit more towards my ghost hunting friends, Paranormal by I Am Kenny Biddle. These are shirts and quotes that are a little bit more on the ghost hunting side, especially this one, Translucent Perished Beings. Ghost. That's my favorite. So if you're interested, head on over to teespring.com/stores/scientific skepticism by IAKB and check it out. Thanks.
Are you tortured by what you see and hear about the paranormal field? Join us as we critically examine and question paranormal claims, science, ghosts, demons, cryptids, UFOs, ghost hunting technology, and much more are all on the table for discussion. 3 Tortured Souls is a video podcast that streams live on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 Pacific.
3 Tortured Souls.
All right, we are back. Whew. That was close. I literally just sat down. I was like, "Oh shit, the music is almost dying."
We are in the house.
All right. So I know we got a bunch of questions.
I
see
few,
questions.
Yeah, that are going back a little bit. So we're gonna
Okay.
try to catch up.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay, give me.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I hope I'm answering your questions sufficiently, or at least making you think, or I don't know. I hope you're enjoying it. That's all I care about.
Okay. We're gonna go back to the beanies for a second.
Okay.
So JD did look it up.
Wow. Well, $50.
I know, right?
Oh, get some aluminum foil.
Yeah, come on.
No,
that is ridiculous.
You can get a roll. What's a roll of aluminum foil? Let's look that up.
You can get like a 500-foot roll.
What is that?
Walmart.
Reynolds wrap? Reynolds?
Reynolds is the expensive stuff. REY.
REY Reynolds wrap. Reynolds wrap. $80. What? Oh,
well,
Amazon.
You have to look at how much
it's two.
It's two. How many roll? I mean, some of the rolls are pretty big.
All right. So it looks like there's just $9.
So seriously, what do they do? Put foil in a beanie and call it a 5G?
Is
beanie?
it just a mesh?
Like what's it made
I'm
out
guessing
of?
it's like a mesh beanie.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe like a chainmail kind of thing.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Well, when you do a Faraday box, a Faraday cage, you can. Some people use like aluminum foil because it's a pretty good blocker. But I also use mesh. Use like screen door mesh. So you can go to like a hardware store. You get a roll of aluminum mesh, and you wrap the box. And like my box is wrapped. I think there's 7 layers of mesh around the entire box. And in between the layers, there's aluminum foil. So that's a lot. And I wanted to make sure that it absolutely blocked out all the wavelengths, because AM wavelengths are so small. They're very small. So if you have like a wire going into the box and you don't seal around that wire, AM stations can get through. That's how small they are. So I made sure there was no gaps anywhere, and then even when I had to close the lid would overlap so that there were no gaps going into the box at all. So if you're talking about a beanie,
this is crazy. Like, okay, so I just looked up 5K beanie,
5G.
like 5G blocking beanie, and actually I didn't get a beanie, but I got a Radio Smart EMF blanket, 5G anti-radiation, RF shielding, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth radiation protection, natural large blanket for $110.
EMF proof
They have
beanie.
blankets.
Look
what
at
I'm
this,
saying.
people.
They
We're sharing
blankets.
this. We're share screen, share. You guys can enjoy this. Look at this. $59, $60, $55.
Go into it and see what it says that it's made out of.
Let's see. 5G. This one says 5G. What's it say? It says, let's go down to the description. Nanometer silver fiber technology. Amazing shielding performance, 5G EMF protection from 4G, 5G cell towers, blah, 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 blah. Technology, washing instructions, wash by hand with neutral detergent. Oh, okay. Custom orders. It doesn't actually, well, it just says the silver fiber technology. I'm not sure what that is. All right, so let's just
funny. Like, what, you want to move on?
I'm not getting that. Yeah, let's move on. I'm not buying one of those. Stupid. I'll put aluminum foil on my head. I have put aluminum foil on my head.
Yeah.
I have pictures of it.
All right. You got this for a few minutes.
All right. What do you think of dowsing rods? Dozing rods? Dozing rods? When used properly. So I'm pretty sure you mean dowsing rods. And honestly, that properly does not apply really to that, because dowsing rods are just rods. They do not detect water. They do not detect spirits. They do not answer things. They are manipulated. And it's been shown time and time again. And this is totally on a serious note. They do not detect water. They do not detect minerals. They do not detect anything. They are simply rods that people hold in their hand, and they manipulate them by twisting their wrists. This has been shown. The device I have, the testing device that I have, which is made by Mitch Silverstein, that is 2 acrylic blocks that you lock the handles of the rods in place. But the rods still move freely, but the rods are locked, so you can't move them. And everyone that has used it with that testing device cannot make them work because they can't manipulate them. That said, people that don't use the testing device, when you speed up video of them using them, you can clearly see that their wrists are turning or twisting, manipulating the rods. They do not work. Hey, Dave Schumacher's here. Cool. So under testing conditions, they still do not work. They've never been able to detect with any accuracy water, running water, metals.
Oh, I'm so
You're
sorry.
right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, thank you.
Look. Go ahead. Put that on.
I'm going to put, there we go.
I just made him a hat.
Made
Here
me
you
a
go.
hat.
Here's your beanie.
My beanie hat. Dave Schumacher showed up at the right time. So this is hot.
He's protecting.
This is
from the
actually hot.
5G. That's protecting you from 5G.
It's going to make me sweat. I can feel the heat on my head.
That's what
because
protects you. Protects your brain.
Where was I? All right, dowsing rods. So I can't wear this. This is so freaking hot. Oh my God, how did he do that? Whew. Like, seriously, all the heat in my, that's because my brain is working overdrive. But nice.
Energy.
No. Dowsing rods, there is no proper way to use dowsing rods except for throwing them in the trash. That's the only thing I can advise to it, because it simply doesn't work. And every time it's tested, it just doesn't work. And I don't know what else to say about it. And I'm happy to entertain somebody that wants to show me how it's done. I will, if they want to be tested and we can meet up, definitely. I would be absolutely willing to do that. I will set up a test with you. I have 2 tests that are ready to go. I have the rig that I have that I bring with me at every conference. And anyone's welcome to try it. Or if you're willing to stand there, make sure the dog's not, Chewy's actually like around my feet. I don't want to hit her with the chair. If you're willing to be on camera and have the camera set up straight on your elbows, so like it'll be level with your elbows, so when you're holding them, it's straight at the camera like that, so that we can film you. And the point is, when we film you and you ask your questions, you do your things, and if the rods move back and forth or whatever they do, we're going to take that recording and we're going to speed it up and see if we see this. This looks weird on camera. But if we see that, that's telling us, plain and simple, that it's you moving your hands. And I mean, that's 2 simple tests that we can do. And I'm totally willing to do it if anyone's up for it. And I'll be at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. So if you want to come out and prove me wrong, by all means, come on out. Just make sure I'm not in the dunk tank. Because
he's gonna win
I'm
the
gonna win.
trophy. There's
I hear
a
there's
trophy.
yeah.
Woo!
I was told there was a trophy for the best heckler. So damn right, bitches. I'm gonna win that trophy.
Kenny needs to win that one and the dancing trophy. He's planning on winning 2.
I need to defend my title, which is
that
big
trophy
red
one in
right
the back.
there. I won that last time. John Kennedy, my buddy. Do ghosts hate skeptics?
I thought you'd like that one.
Probably. Because we're jackasses. Because once I became a skeptic, I've not yet, after 10 years, have had a ghost experience. So I think there's a difference here, and I'm going to try and be as nice as possible with this answer. But I think there's an extreme difference in acceptability between believers, so-called stereotyped believers, and so-called stereotyped skeptics. So I see a lot of believers, a lot of ghost hunters that are like full-fledged believers, accept almost everything. Pretty much everything. They accept what they see and hear at face value. They don't investigate it. And I've complained and bitched about this before, where they go on ghost hunts, and this is not everyone, but a good amount of people do this, where they go on a ghost hunt, they see something, they hear something, and instead of going to investigate, they sit on their ass and they don't do anything. And then later on, they repeat the experience as a ghostly experience. They're not investigating. They're fear mongering. They're spreading misinformation. I've totally lost my train of thought. Where am I?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
The last question that popped up.
Oh, that was John's.
That was John's. Can you put that back up?
Hold on. Oh, I'm going back.
So when it with acceptability, I see that extreme on the believer side, and then as you come over to the skeptic side, but everything in between, there's people that will accept stories at face value. They will accept anecdotes. They will reshare stories online, like news articles that a ghost exists or a ghost was seen here, and they share it without checking into it. And I think that's part of the problem, because it's like they feed off the anomalies, and they make this they make things go viral because they don't check up on them. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that's the basic fact. They don't check up on it. When you start checking up on it, that's when you start coming over to where we are. It's like you start looking into it, and you're like, oh, well, there's a explanation for this. It was CGI. Somebody did that as like a stunt to show off their work. Or, oh, that was a photographic mistake. It was an optical illusion. We were able to duplicate it. We were able to figure out what it was. That noise that you heard, that's like a clock that only goes off at a certain time. But if you weren't in the room, you wouldn't know that. The investigative part, that's part of the title that most people give themselves. That's important. You need to investigate. If you don't investigate, you just take the story and you run with it. When you start investigating for real, not the TV shit, then you start discovering the causes. You start finding out what is the source of the experience or anomaly, and then you can explain it. So the ghosts kind of go away, and that's been my experience. Yeah, I was a ghost hunter. I started out as a ghost hunter. I believed. I thought everything under the sun or the moon, because it was always nighttime, was a ghost. And then when I really started investigating, when I really started applying investigative methods and the scientific method, I realized here's the solution. Here's the cause. I found it. It's natural. It's not a ghost. All the ghosts went away. So I hope that answered your question. Juice! Juice Willis. Is that a play on Bruce Willis? I think, maybe. Or that's just a cool name. After all your investigations, have you given up on the idea of an afterlife? No, I have not. I don't believe in an afterlife. I still have the idea that when we die, that's it. It's the long nap. And you know what?
Boo.
I'm not going to complain.
Boo. That's because he doesn't sleep now, people.
Yeah,
he
because
doesn't sleep at all.
I don't sleep now. But the idea of an afterlife, it's still out there. I'm still looking for it. You know, people still make claims. I'm still going to go out and check it out. I'm still going to see if there's anything to it. If I gave up on it, honestly, this show wouldn't be happening right now, because there'd be no point. You know, if I totally gave up on it, I would just walk away from it and find a different hobby. I like this. I like the idea that there might be something out there. I like the idea that I have not been able to prove everything 100%, like not supernatural. I like the idea that maybe, I don't know. Let's see. That's my whole thing. I had that let's see attitude, and I like acting on it. So, I mean, if I forget who did it, who asked about the hospital, if I wanted to investigate a hospital,
Here.
you
That's
know,
the next
oh
question.
well, that
Keith
said,
Edwards.
haunted hospital, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. There are so many claims. Old South Pittsburgh. I think I've read about that. Is that open? Is that actually still open? I thought that closed. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I thought that closed. And I thought there was like some kind of ghost hunting drama controversy with somebody way back. I want to say the guy that claimed to be like Houdini's nephew or something like that. There was somebody that claimed to have some kind of lineage with Houdini, but it was made up.
And you think it was related to that?
And I think it was related to something he did at either that hospital or a hospital that sounded something like that name. I don't know. But yeah, definitely. I all right. I think that is what?
Oh, the hospital you're just talking about. If we can get in.
If we can get in, yeah, let me know a weekend.
Yeah, we'll come out. We're not that far.
Pittsburgh is only what, five or 6 hours?
Like it's almost 6 hours.
Yeah,
from
it's
us,
about a 6-hour drive.
It's a good weekend, but it could be a long weekend trip.
That could be like either take a Friday or a Monday off and just go out there, because there's plenty of things we could do out there.
Yeah.
But I would come out and come out and check it out, and we can get together and figure it out. So if that's an opportunity that you can arrange, let me know. Send me an email, or get with me on social media. Again, you can find all my social media at the link that's underneath the comment here, in the link tree. It's all right. You can leave it up.
No, John Michael is saying that Old South Pittsburgh is in Tennessee, not Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of far.
Yeah, Tennessee. Well, but we could.
Is Pittsburgh in Tennessee? No, that's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they might have a Pittsburgh,
I don't know.
Tennessee.
I don't know.
Knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what
he
was?
Said it's South Pittsburgh,
okay.
Tennessee.
All right.
We were confusing it with PA. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a little bit further for us. Just a little bit. So that would be more than a weekend. But I mean, it might still be doable. We'll see. We'll see how the current world, the national pandemic thing goes yet, because I just want to make sure before we travel.
Right.
Jim, Dr. Jim. What's up, buddy? I miss you, man. I miss you. I'm so depressed that you're not coming out to Gettysburg. I'm so depressed because we had so much fun with you last time.
Yes, we did.
Dr. Jim can party like
hang, man.
anyone.
He can hang better than me.
Dr. Jim parties like a 60-year-old.
Oh, wow. I'm so
just
sorry,
kidding.
Jim.
He's going to be so mad.
Wow.
Let's see. That was Aaron Houdini, and the location was Pottstown. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Yes. Yeah. Aaron Houdini, that was not related to Houdini. That pisses me off, because Houdini is like a big mentor. He's one of my idols. Dr. Jim. All right. How are we doing on questions?
We have to go back a little bit. Hold on, because I'm trying to keep up.
That's all right. I'm glad I wrote all these notes. I don't want to have to go to. It's all good. Because we're covering some of the stuff that I wrote about. So
feel good.
It's all good.
I think we're almost up to 9 to 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, this is at almost 10 o'clock, so we're almost there.
Okay, JD Sword, has anyone ever confirmed fresh pack of batteries being drained mysteriously? No, not to my knowledge. No one has ever confirmed that experience. And the experience, the common, well, we could call it tribal knowledge. The tribal knowledge experience is that people go to use equipment that have batteries in it, and they say, "Oh, look, my batteries are drained," or they start to use it. It starts out fine, and then it suddenly drains. Now, this is common. This is not something that when you start using a piece of equipment, it's like it starts slowing down. It's not like if you have a mechanical thing like a robot, or like the Cabbage Patch doll that I recently debunked on TikTok, that has a motorized system in it, and once the batteries start going, yeah, it slows down. It's sporadic in its operation. But if you have a device like a meter or something, or even a camera, the camera, yeah, that should have some kind of battery display. But if you're not paying attention to it, you're not going to notice. And even some of them, like some of my Nikon's cameras that I use, they all of a sudden, when it's ready to go out, the battery will go down to like halfway, and then I know I only have like 5 minutes left. 5-10 minutes left at best of operation, because it kind of just uses all the battery power up until it's like, oh crap, we're redlining here, time to stop. So if you're not paying attention to that kind of thing, then yeah, you're gonna have batteries mysteriously drain. But do they? I don't think so. I really don't think so. All right, what else we got?
Okay. 1 second, I gotta go. Aaron.
Aaron, what's up, buddy? What are your thoughts on using a 3D mapping camera to give you an accurate rendering of the location you're investigating? That would be actually cool. That way you can go back and look at a particular spot in a room, vent locations, etc., or old school drawing the floor plans. Apple's new phone has a built-in LiDAR and 3D mapping capabilities. So yeah, I have the new iPhone. I have the iPhone 12. So I've seen that. I've seen the mapping capabilities. It's not 100%. It does have flaws in it. So I wouldn't rely on that 100%. And I haven't played with it myself, but I've seen demonstrations. I've seen reviews of it, and it comes up a little short because it can be fooled by certain things, but really good. I use a 360 camera, so I have a nice 360 degree camera that I use, that I set up on a monopod, and I usually put it in the middle of the room, of each room, and I take a picture. And it's a 4K image of the entire room. And I use that all the time when I go out into an investigation, because that gives me what you're talking about. It pretty much gives me an idea of everything in that room. I would love to have 3D mapping. That would be amazing, because then, yeah, I would actually like that beforehand, so that I can plan out like where I'm going, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to set up cameras. And then afterwards, it would help. That would help. The 3D mapping would help, because it would basically give you what I'm trying to get with 3D cameras or 360 cameras. It would give you a better rendering, depending on how accurate it is, of the area and everything in it, which is really beneficial. Because if you have, like, for instance, there was an example where somebody was they were in a conference hall, like it wasn't a conference hall, but it was like a big auditorium kind of thing, where like a dance hall, and somebody took a photograph, and it looked like a old man in a wheelchair was in the middle of the photo. And just by looking at that two-dimensional photo, the angle that they took it, yes, it looked like an old man in a wheelchair. But when we went back, luckily, and this is pure luck, that no one had rented that hall for any other parties, and we were able to get back in time before anything was touched. And we lined that photo up. I printed the photo out. I had it up with me. actually lined it up and found out that it was an optical illusion because there was a trash can, there was a box fan, there was a red can of Folgers coffee grounds on a counter, and there was also a trash bag and a few other things that lined up perfectly that created this image. And we were able to replicate that image like 99.9% by lining up everything in the picture and using the same camera. So if we had that 3D mapping, it's almost like a virtual reality where we could probably like walk through a virtual environment, a recreation of that place, and probably do that remotely. We could have done that at home and said, oh, look, we line this up. It looks like this. So that would be beneficial. But unfortunately, I don't think it's 100% accurate yet. It's almost there. It's really good, but there probably would still be flaws, and I would still want to go on site. Jamil? Is that how you pronounce that? Jamel?
Mm-hmm.
Jamel.
Jamil.
Okay, Jamil. Hey, Jamil. Have you checked out the crazy stories on the Skinwalker Ranch? It is a bunch of Looney Tunes. Is it a bunch of Looney Tunes making up stories? So, unfortunately, I have not been able to force myself to watch them. I've gotten through.
Response from Tiffany.
Skinwalkers are one of the more terrifying of the cryptids, and the people who own Skinwalker Ranch don't mess around with trespassing. So, I mean, I've tried to watch the series. I think I've made it through like 5 minutes. I think we touched on this on Three Tortured Souls with Dave and Tim. And I think they, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I see Dave still in there. I don't know if Tim is still around, but I think they tried to watch it too. And it was so difficult because the ideas and the speculations were so far out there that it pissed me off. You know, it was like watching an episode of Ghost Adventures. I just couldn't fucking take it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. No, there was so much crap coming out of their mouths. I could not stand it. So I haven't been able to do that. I've tried. I've honestly tried, but I can't deal with it. It's like those kind of shows, those kind of series, when you see Dave's like, I've hung in there and it's meh. It's like, you know, and I'm gonna use this example, like my father used to watch football games. Like I remember being at home and seeing him watch sports, and he would yell at the TV, scream at the TV when somebody wasn't doing something right, or somebody made a bad call, or you know, what he thought was a bad call, and scream at the TV. And that's how I get with shows like this. I watch it, I'm like, are you fucking stupid? What are you doing? That's not what you do. Oh my God, you're missing this, you're missing that. I would have done it this way. And I can't take it. So I turn it off. So unfortunately, I cannot answer your question in a satisfactory manner because I don't have the reference to do it. And I don't want to speculate on just something I don't have any data to support it. John Kennedy.
Yeah, John, here's your fucking question.
Yeah, John.
Don't give me shit, dude.
Wow.
I
Don't piss off Donna. She can boot you.
I have.
She done it to John. 2 hours it took to get him back. You're never gonna live that down.
I don't care.
Never.
John,
No.
don't give me shit.
Stop.
I
Be nice
questions.
to John. He gets one free pass.
He's
'Cause you
getting
booted
a
him.
free pass.
All right.
He already put it in there
So-
twice. If I missed this question, I didn't miss
Stop. Can we not use things like fMRIs to test people who say they talk to the dead and compare them to control group? That I need to look up
it.
because I don't know what you're talking about. fMRI.
I think when we were
scan.
talking about
okay.
the hats,
All right.
right? Is that what he's talking about? When we were talking about the
Can we?
hats thing?
Okay. I see how I'm phrasing it wrong. Can we not use things like MRIs, fMRIs to test people? So this is a little out of my wheelhouse here. I do believe that there has been testing. Go, Dave's like, go Packers. You distracted me, Dave.
Right?
Like, don't stop putting shit in caps, Dave. So
I don't care if you cap it; it's not getting on screen.
I know that I know that they've put some people in these machines to test them when they've claimed to have religious experiences or go into deep trances and stuff. There's literature out there. I am not familiar with it, so I can't really get into that. But I guess I would venture a guess here to say that yes, you could. And I think I think the results of some of this testing has shown that there is activity in certain parts of the brain when people, excuse me, I burped. When people are having religious experiences slash paranormal experiences slash like weird other experiences where they think that they're not alone. But I think Dave would actually be more versed on this than me. So Dave, oh wait, they have done fMRI to study some psychics and possessed people. Those studies have been published. Okay, so they're out there. I would definitely go out and look for them and see what you can find, because again, I'm not up to date on that literature, so I don't want to give you an answer that would be wrong. Because it probably would be, but that's what I think. I think I've read that they do have certain activity in certain areas of the brain that light up. I don't know if it's different between religious and paranormal, like slash ghost experiences. I don't know if there's a difference there, or if it's the same area, same kind of activity, or different activity but same area. I don't know. So I would definitely suggest you look into that. And see what you can find. So, Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany. At Kenny. Would you be willing to share the schematics of that dowsing rod thing, or just sell one to me because I suck at building things? So,
do we have any left?
I have. Show my tinfoil hat again. So, I don't know. I don't have them here. I think I have them in my conference box that I take with the conferences with me. But I do think I have 2 left, and I was selling them. They were $50 each. But if you email me, if you send me like a message through like where this you're on Facebook, so send me a message through Facebook, and I can send you pictures of what it looks like and the package, and it actually comes with dowsing rods. So if you want one, we can talk about it. I don't have schematics because I didn't build it myself. My friend Mitch Silverstein built them. He designed them and built them himself, and then he packaged them, but nobody was buying them. So I bought all of them, and I actually gave most of them away because I was like, different people. I was like, here, you're testing people for this, so try it. But definitely something that's it's worth it. But I can tell you, send me a message and I can tell you exactly what they're made of and approximately how big they are and how long they are. So if you know somebody that can make it for you, then you can make one yourself. You don't have to actually buy it from me. So because that would save you money. All right. So Juice, I love Juice Willis. Do you believe this is so freaking hot. Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know how them people do it. Unless they have fans inside.
It's aluminum
We could
foil.
actually build one though. Like I could build one where you put a fan on the back.
What?
So it would keep you cool. So you could block.
Yeah, but that would it really
would
block
actually
it? I mean, you're cutting a hole in it. Now it's really
know.
gonna block the.
I'll put a screen on the
5G?
fan.
It might not block the 5G.
I'll figure it out. All right. So Juice Willis says, do you believe there are other honest researchers on TV like yourself? Or does the Hollywood machine corrupt absolutely? So thank you first for calling me honest. I appreciate that. I really do try to be as honest as possible. Although I don't have the answer to everyone's question. I do try. But as far as the TV shows, like when we're talking reality TV, I don't think it's reality. I really don't think it's reality. I think there are honest. That's actually a difficult question because Some of them, I believe, or I think, I don't really believe, I think are being as honest as possible, but they're basing everything on their beliefs. And when your beliefs influence how you interpret data, it's going to skew it. It's going to take it in whatever direction you believe. So if you already have this belief where ghosts exist and they can influence devices like EMF meters, and you go into a place and suddenly you have a spike, you're going to believe, yes, a ghost did that. So I don't think people that present that as evidence are being dishonest. I think they are being very honest, but they just don't realize that they're wrong. That's a blunt way to say it, but they don't realize that that's not how it works. So yeah, I think there are some people that are honest out there that are just passing on bad information because they don't know any better. They're just ignorant of the good information. That said, yes, there are people out there, Jack Beggins, that promote bullshit. That just make up stuff. They embellish stuff. They create stories around it to build fame, to make money, to get people to keep watching them, and to build viewership and build followers and likes and subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think there is a good mix, but there are definitely people that are honest. I think they're just mistaken sometimes, and that includes me, because I've done honest mistakes. I've put out information that I've had to correct later. And I don't want to make that clear. Like, I'm not trying to put myself above everyone else. I've made boo-boos. and I hate that. It's so, I can't explain. And I think really only people that experience the same thing as I do would understand. Like, I can't tell you how depressed I get, and I beat myself up when I'm wrong. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It just makes me feel so stupid. I can't describe it. So that's why I'm so anal about making sure I get the right information out to you guys. Because if I give you something bad and someone comes along and goes, yo, dumbass, it's this, you were wrong. Like, I'm done for like 3 days. I'm done. Like, I won't talk to anyone. I will bury myself in video games and just shoot my friends for hours because I'm just so mad about myself being wrong. So yeah. Okay. All right. Next.
This is next.
All right. What do we got? Oh, we got 20 minutes left. Good. JD, what's up, buddy? I'm glad you're still hanging out. All right. When do you ask for help or consult someone else on an investigation? So I ask for help. This is a great question. And this is actually part of my notes here. So when do I ask for help? When I don't know. Like, there's been a ton, for example, let's see. There was, I went out to a museum, and it was me. I actually met up with Tim Vickers, and we went out a weekend to a museum of oddities called the Archive of the Afterlife. We went out there, and one of the premier, I guess, objects that were on display was a painting or a portrait. It was a portrait. That's how it was built. A portrait of a woman. And it had this haunted history about it. And when we got there, I got a good close look at it. And because the owner of the place was really, really cool. I mean, he was really cool. He let me pretty much do whatever I wanted, which is excellent. But I really got a good look at this portrait and realized that it was not a photograph. And that's what he thought it was. He thought it was a photograph, and because it was lifelike, it really looked cool. But as I got closer to it and I took close-up photos of everything, I realized, like, this was drawn. Somebody drew this. It's not an actual photograph. So I didn't know what that was. I could report that. I could put that in my story, like, oh, okay, like, this was not a picture. It was not a photograph. It was drawn. So somebody drew this picture. They missed some things, like there was a medallion on it that you could see was just a bunch of lines, and then part of the necklace was actually missing. So I called up Joe Nickel, who is he's been doing this for 51 years now, I think. He works for Skeptical Inquirer. He's one of the senior research fellows. I called him up and said, hey, this is what I have. What is this? And I know he's an expert in that field. He's been studying photography since, well, he's probably been around since the invention of the wheel. So, he was around since the dawn of photography. Oh. So when I described it to him, he was like, oh, yeah, that's a crayon portrait. And basically what they did was, they took a small portrait, because back in days when they were taking these photos, they didn't have like 8x10s. You had these little tiny ones, usually like 2x3 or smaller. And they would use what's called a sun enlarger, which was, it used the light from the sun to reflect off. It's a complicated process, but it basically took that image and reflected that image onto a large canvas, which would put a very, very light image on it. And then an artist would go over and, draw in all the features. So I didn't know this. That's when I ask for help, when I don't know something. If I'm putting pieces together, I'm not asking people to look up. And like I mentioned earlier about when people reach out and say, hey, can you look this up for me? Can you look this up? What do you think of this? And it comes down to something simple, like you can Google shit yourself. I don't do that. I don't reach out to people and constantly ask them questions about something I'm working on. I will gather all the information possible first, figure out where I'm going, what direction it might go. I will verify some facts myself, and I will try to research things myself before I bother someone. Because sometimes it's not always bothering, but I always feel like I'm bothering them because I am taking their time. And even like people like Ben Radford, Joe Nickel, who are colleagues and friends of mine, I don't like to bother them because I know how busy they are. I know how busy I am. I know how busy they are. So when I'm going to ask them a question, I make sure I have all my shit together before I do it. And then I reach out to them. If there's a topic I know nothing about, I will research it. I'll definitely research it before I go to an expert and make sure I have a basic idea or a basic understanding. And again, have all my questions ready the first time I do it, so that I don't take much of their time. I take as little time as possible from them, and they see that I'm efficient, that I'm doing my work. I'm doing my work beforehand, and it doesn't take too much time out of their day. All right. So I think I answered that question.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, John Kennedy. Piggybacking on that question, what do you view as reputable sources on things paranormal? That's like an oxymoron. Reputable sources on things paranormal. I think this is more involved than just a simple question. I think there's more to it. The problem is that I guess it depends on the topic. If we're talking about equipment, like ghost hunting equipment, I would not go to ghost hunting sites. I just wouldn't. Maybe that's a bias. Maybe that's something people would point out, like, oh, look at you're being biased against them. But when I go to ghost hunting sites, it's usually pro whatever the gadget is. So I will go to manufacturer sites. I'd rather go to the people that actually make the component. Not like I recently did an article on the REM pod. So I would not go to the person that's making REM pods to tell me exactly what's going on with it, because they're promoting it as a paranormal device, a paranormal investigation tool. So they're invested in this. I would rather figure out what's inside of it, a Junior Theremin device, and then go to the manufacturer of the Junior Theremin and ask them what's going on with this. How does this work? So that's who I would think that's who I would consider a credible source. The manufacturer of the components. And if we're talking about like a anecdote or an experience, first-hand experience, I would definitely go to the primary source. You have to go to the primary source. Whoever witnessed it first, go to them. Doesn't mean they're reliable. Doesn't mean they're accurate. But you want to go to the first person that experienced it and talk to them away from other people. And then you get you get the best information, the first-hand knowledge. Dr. Jim, how did you seal the door on your Faraday cage? So I didn't seal it. I overlapped it. So when the door closes, it's a lid like this. But instead of just closing like that, it overlaps on all sides. So I have a 4-inch overlap that actually meshes with the other mesh, because the outside of the entire box, including the lid and the overlap flaps, are all mesh. It's all aluminum mesh. So once it goes over, it meshes with it. You can actually hear it crunch as it closes, and that seals it up. I've never had a problem with it. I've never had anything leak through. And so I hope that answered your question. Awesome. That was an easy one. That was like the shortest one I did.
Here we go.
Thanks, Doc. Oh, Heath, do you think a location can be over-investigated? Oh, yeah. Yep. And I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this question, but yes, I think a location can be over-investigated because once you get that reputation for being haunted, ghosts are bank. They make money. So you can start charging. You can start charging more and more for groups coming in. So I think once you get that reputation, especially if it was featured on a TV show, oh shit, yeah, it'll definitely be over investigated because you book it every weekend. And if you're booking every weekend, you're just having new people come in doing the same shit without controls, without good methods, not really caring about controlling the environment. They're just out there for a thrill. And you're getting this constant flow of anecdotes coming out there. So anecdotes mixed with misinformation, bad methodology, usually speculation, all of this coming out. So yeah, there's a lot of places. I mean, all the big ones, Waverly Hills, like I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's overdone. Eastern State Penitentiary, overdone.
Overdone, like how do you mean? Like if it's haunted, why
I mean overdone because there are so many stories come out. These are popular places. They are tourist attractions. So it's not necessarily a site of serious study. It is a tourist attraction. So like
based
when we went
on the hauntedness, not the history.
Like when we went to Waverly Hills.
Yeah.
How many people would you estimate were there with us?
Oh, there was a lot.
There was a lot.
Probably about 100.
Oh, easily 100.
Yeah.
I would say there was more than that, but yes. I mean, because you had that big waiting hall.
Yeah, we had a big
all
room.
These people in there, and they give like a lecture to everyone. So that was just one tour. And then I know they had a tour after us too. So they had more people coming in, and that's every weekend. So yes, I can see that being overdone because not only do you have people that are trying to do something serious, but you have all these thrill seekers. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. They're tourists that are coming out because they heard the stories. They want to have the experiences. Something weird happens. They don't investigate. It becomes a story. They tell others.
Well, that's what like Tiffany just said. Like
you make the ghost all tired from too much investigating and further ruin the evidence.
I mean,
it's just it's a vicious cycle.
Do ghosts get tired from haunting places?
No, because they have so much energy. They have all this energy.
Energy. Yo, guys, if you're not already effed up, drink a little.
All right.
All right, I have to go back just a little bit because I jumped the gun here. So I'm going back to Xander. I didn't forget about you. Here you go.
As a skeptic, who?
Hmm?
As a skeptic, who? Me? All right.
Yeah, you.
What do you think happens when we die? I have no idea. No idea.
Okay, so
I
here's another
haven't.
question.
I haven't died yet. That's all I can say. I don't know. I don't know. I have not died, so I don't know what that is like.
We're trying to have some people that passed away come back and help us out.
We
with
do
that.
have. I do have
We
two
have-
experiments going. I have
Yeah.
Mikey, the Ninja Turtle, which is down in the basement
Mhm.
in my mystery museum, and that's from my good friend Mike, who passed away. It's
That's
been
a year
while.
ago.
Year ago?
Yeah, it's
Been
been
a
over a year.
Okay.
A year in April. Yeah.
Who we discussed it before he passed away. That said he would come back if he could and possess the full size Ninja Turtle that's down there and walk around. So I'm waiting for that. And then there's another gentleman that I met on TikTok that who is still with us, and which I'm glad for. But there is certain conditions that are affecting his life. But we made an arrangement that I bought a little He-Man action figure, and he said that when he goes onto the next world or whatever it happens, that if he could come back, he's going to try to possess that He-Man and fight the Skeletor figure that I bought to keep him company. So we'll see what happens. John Kennedy, Xander. What happens when we die? Read Spook.
he's
By me.
answering.
Oh, okay. That's a good book. That's a good book. I had that. I read that. Mary Roach is a awesome author. I love her. She is smart, intelligent, and whimsical.
Whimsical.
I know. I don't use that word a lot.
Whoa.
Whimsical. She is funny.
Whimsical.
She'll make you laugh. But she also brings you good information. So,
Oh, here.
hey, Teresa, what's up,
she
girl?
says that go ahead.
I've been clinically dead.
There is something
There
that
is something that happens before
you're
you-
brought back.
You're broke back. So
So
I'm not going to argue with you
yeah.
because I'm going to debate with you. I'm going to discuss with you because that's what we do here. We discuss. I'm not going to argue with you because it's very hard. It's very difficult to debate with personal experiences, especially one like this, because it's not something that others could have experienced at the same time you were. This is something that only you could have experienced. So we can talk. Oh, cool.
Well, maybe that's another show.
So yeah, I mean, there are things that happen. There are documented things that happen in our brains, bodies, mostly in our brains, that happen when we die. So things do happen, and they're expected to happen. So you're going to have visual and auditorial. Wow,
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I'm surprised I actually
am
said
too.
that.
I am too. And you
I'm
looked at me, I'm like, wow,
surprised.
you got
Wow.
that right.
That's what threw me. I said it right. Manifestations, visual and auditory manifestations that can happen that may or may not be real. And we don't know because only one person is experiencing it at the time. And of course you're dying or clinically dead at the time. So I don't know. And I'm sure Dave would actually chime in with this because I know he has a lot of the literature from parapsychology that would actually relate to this. So I don't know. All right. So Jade Kitten, would you consider writing a book of on your investigations? I read through your SI articles and want to. Well, thank you so much. So I am working on it. I'm still working on it, but I get distracted and I have so many projects going on. Actually, we're at the end of the show, so we can start wrapping it up. So yeah, I am working on it. I do have a book. I have one book that I've been working on that I had self-published years ago called Orbs of Dust, and it was photographic anomalies. And I'm trying to update that in between the articles and other projects that I have going on in the background. I'm trying to update that so that it can be sent off to somebody to proofread and then published eventually. I also started working on a manuscript for investigation methods based mostly on the poster back here that I have, just going through what I do to investigate. And again, I have to stress that because it's just my way of doing it. It doesn't mean it's perfect, but it's my way. And then I have another another book that I've been working on. Well, actually, I have another book that I started writing a manuscript for that details the backstories on all the haunted items that I have in my museum and whether or not I tested them. Well, I'm only going to include the ones that I actually tested, the claims, and showing that you put a little critical thinking into it, you can figure out that these things are not haunting.
There's a great question. I think we should end the show with this. I know we're missing a few questions, but I think we should end the show with this question.
You guys have been great with questions.
Yeah,
and I apologize.
It's been awesome all night. Like, really, I'm only missing like 2.
Don't hesitate that if I didn't get to your question, I apologize. It's time constraints. There's a lot of information. I talk a lot. If you haven't noticed, I talk a lot.
I try to get him to shut up.
I know. But if I haven't answered your question, feel free to shoot me a message or email, and I will get back to you.
I think this is a good question to end the show with. So, Sander, you're up.
If you were to actually experience 100% without a doubt, I love that.
I know.
A paranormal experience, what would you do with all your skeptic documentation and museum? Nothing. So that's the quick answer. Nothing. Because the documentation. So I'm going to make an assumption here that when you say all of your skeptic documentation, that refers to like the articles I've written, and maybe videos that I've done. So all that stuff still applies. There's nothing changes with that because they were specific cases that I worked on, which I was able to investigate a specific case and solve that mystery in itself, or come up with the best conclusion based on the data. So a separate experience, which is what you're talking about here, the 100% without a doubt paranormal experience, is a separate experience that would be looked at separately, obviously. And that would change my worldview if it was shown to be valid. Again, I mean, it just face value we cannot take. We have to test it. We have to verify it. We have to try and replicate it. But if it came out to be valid, then yes, it would change my worldview. But it doesn't affect things that have already been done, because like we've investigated, the investigation has concluded based on the data, yes, that it was either found to be natural causes or optical illusion or what have you. For things for the museum, again, that's a separate issue. And this is the overall theme here is that every claim is separate. Just because one claim has been verified valid doesn't mean every other paranormal claim is now valid. And the same thing with if one claim has been shown to be false or a hoax, doesn't mean every claim is a hoax. Every claim has to be looked at separately. And that's the important thing. We got to stop compiling all this shit together where it's like, oh, well, you know, this case is definitely haunted or this house is really haunted. That means every place else is haunted. No. You need to separate that shit.
That's what John Michael says on the thing.
Oh, if we can prove ghosts are real, it doesn't mean you are no longer a skeptic. It means you've used skeptical inquiry to prove ghosts. Yes, you can still be yes. Because even experiences that happen in the same place near, like, if you want to go on a ghost hunt, you start at 8 p.m. and you go to 2. If there's like 20 different experiences that happen that night, you have to treat each experience separately. You have to investigate each experience separately. You can't group them all together and just say, well, because 1, 2, 3, and 4 happened, well, 5, 6, 7, and 8 must be true. That's not the way it works, because they could all have natural experiences. Half of them might have natural experiences. None of them may have natural experiences, but you have to investigate each one to verify that. So yeah, if there was an experience that came out to, like, yeah, it's definitely a ghost, and we can't, it's hard to go by the term paranormal, because that's such a blanket term. So if a ghost was confirmed, like I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, I have a chair here, right here and says, if there really is a ghost, pop in here, appear right here so I can interview you. And if one popped in here, first, pee my pants. Totally would pee my pants. Totally would. But because I'd be like, how the hell is that happening? But then I'd interview. That would be your 100% experience. That would be really cool. But that doesn't mean every investigation I've done beforehand is invalid. It would still be the same. It's same conclusion. So I hope that answered your question. That was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. Addendum to question: please make an audiobook, as if physical books are hard for me. So that is something that I will definitely do. When I did put out a book. I put out a ghost story book many years ago, and I collected stories from around the region, Lehigh Valley, and this was so long ago that ebooks were still new, and I had said no. Like they sent me a thing saying, if you want ebooks, check this box, and I didn't check it because I was like, you can share that, people can just copy and paste, and I won't make any money. And then I realized you still don't make any money from publishing
you don't
books.
make any money.
Like, oh, you had to publish a book to figure out, like, oh, this is not profitable whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I definitely will do that in the future when these books are published, the e-versions, the electronic versions, the online versions. Absolutely, I will do that. Do you hope to be proven wrong someday?
To be proven wrong, I think, is harsh. I mean, I think it would be like,
Donna's taking over the show.
Well, I don't think proven wrong is the right way to address that question.
Yeah, so it's not. To be proven wrong would mean I would have to come to a conclusion that was shown later to be wrong. And as I mentioned earlier, I hate being wrong. So it would devastate me. But my idea right now, and I think I know what your question is for. My idea right now is that there is not an afterlife. There are no ghosts. I don't think there are. That's what I have as an idea right now. And I think your question is referring to that. Like, do I want to be proven wrong about that idea? And if I'm right about this, yes, I would love to be proven wrong, because that would tell me that there is an afterlife, that once we close our eyes in this physical body, we do go somewhere else. That would be a comforting thought. And I think that would be a comforting thought to anyone, because when you get up there, like I'm almost 50 years old now, and I think about death. Yeah, that's what I meant. Awesome. I'm psychic, obviously. I think about death a lot. I really do. Like at night when I don't sleep, because I never do, and I'm watching whatever YouTube videos or horror movies or whatever, I really contemplate death. Like what's it going to feel like when I'm on that deathbed? And I'm thinking, yeah, I visualize everything. Like I know the hospital room, what it looks like.
Really?
I know,
oh
yeah, people around me, and I'm gonna be doing a TikTok video with like I'm dying.
That will be you.
Here I am.
You're like, Donna, make sure you get this.
Put it on
TikTok.
Because if people can see my spirit come out, I want them to see it. Record this shit. Come on, get the cameras up. I want to have all kinds of shit like that.
Guys,
so,
I'm totally the opposite.
I mean, I think about that, and I think about like, what's that moment going to be? Why is the dog going crazy?
I don't know. I hope nobody's getting in my car. I'll be right back.
All right. So I think about it. Like I think about that moment where. That last moment when I close my eyes, I really do think about that like at least once a week. And if the idea of an afterlife comes up and can be proven, that would be a comforting thought. But for now, I'm just winging it. Right. Oh my God. Producer Don has left me to go figure out if someone is breaking into her car. So I'm trying to look. Oh, I'm in control again. This is so weird. Dave Schumacher, what's up, buddy? Could there be an afterlife, but there are no ghosts? Things that make you go, yeah, yeah. You know, when you start speculating, and this is what it is. Like the whole idea of the afterlife, speculation. It's all speculation. So yeah, I mean, you could have an afterlife with no ghosts. You could have the afterlife where there is no communication whatsoever. You can have afterlife where everyone gets a mansion in the sky, but then you could also have one where no one gets a mansion in the sky. You just get a little apartment. Um, it's all speculation because nobody knows. Are you afraid of dying? Yes.
No,
Yes, I am.
I'm not.
This is my show. We're gonna go over. We're going over because we have more questions. I'm good.
Does it matter?
I'm good.
Is
No,
it okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. I'm not,
No
I'm not
one can
going
kick
back,
me
but
off.
whatever.
So
Okay.
I'm good. I'm not sponsored. Well, except Jade Kitten. She sponsored it.
Joe, not Joe, John, actually had a question way back about his.
Well, if you can find it, yeah, bring it up.
Oh yeah.
I did Dave's question about the afterlife. It was more like a speculative. It was a little more like a philosophical question. Well, look at him. I'm a patron. When do I get a sponsored show? You can have next show.
Well, then he said, hold on, wait.
You can have
There's
next
another-
week's show.
Oh, next week we don't have a guest.
Not right now.
Okay, so
But
then,
even if we
then
do,
he follows up with.
can my show be Donna High answering us?
That's not Kenny's show, guys.
Hit the 3 buttons and ban him.
I want to accidentally knock
Accidentally ban him.
No.
No. But going back to the other question, am I afraid of dying? I'm totally blowing you off there, John. Where is it? There it is. Are you afraid of dying? Yes, because I have too much to do. I have too many projects and deadlines. I can't die. And honestly, the thought of not existing, because that's the idea I have now, scares the shit out of me. It really does, because I have too much I want to do. There's too much to see. I can see everything. I can see the whole world from this seat via the internet, but I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to go out there and experience it. I want to see the pyramids in Egypt. I want to see the Great Wall of China. I want to see all this stuff. I want to go to Raymond Hall to see where the brown lady showed up. I want to go to the Tulip Staircase and see where the ghost went up the stairs. I want to see all this shit. And it scares me that I will not have the opportunity. What really scares me is I will not have the opportunity to go to another planet. That pisses me off, because science fiction has told me that we will have rocket packs, we will have spaceships, we will have Millennium Falcons, and we'll be going to different planets. And the thought that I cannot visit another planet,
that keeps you like going.
that keeps me up at night. That's why I don't sleep.
Really?
Because I will not go to another planet that I will not possibly get to all of these places.
I don't know. You might be able to in this lifetime.
I
don't know.
So.
See,
No.
like
I've talked about it before, where I looked it up. There was I was doing a TikTok video, and somebody asked about the nearest habitable planet, which is, I think, 4.2 light years away. And at our current technology, it would take us 70,000 years to get there.
To get where?
The nearest habitable planet.
Oh.
So there is no way.
Well, I thought you were going to be like I thought you were talking about just like going out into space. Like that's
that
possible.
Is going out.
Well, no, like
going
just
to another planet.
Oh, going to another planet. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I'm not afraid of dying.
And Kenny can produce. You're not helping, Tiffany.
Tiffany, are you a Patreon?
Yeah, you should be a Patreon, and then maybe if you get enough patrons,
between
if
you and John,
if we get 5 patrons that sign up and say, "Hey, our topic," so you have to go at the top level at $10. 5
Make
people that come
Donna
up and
a
say
host?
Donna wants to be the host, I'll let her do a show.
Really? You're gonna let me host your show?
Yep, but I'm going to have a message up here and give you the answers.
Kenny's gonna be the producer on this side, like writing all the answers
right.
in the
Do we have any more
in the
questions?
question. No. Well, hold on. Yeah, we do. Xander's here.
Xander, can you go over your thoughts on the Right movie? I requested. Oh, all right. Now I know who you are. Okay. I was confused.
You
there.
didn't know before?
I didn't realize. Well, it's a different name.
Oh, okay.
Other than the Hollywood stuff. So the Right movies. Oh my God, I got to bring it up. I was not prepared for this. So this is a movie that he suggested or recommended that I watch, and it was based on. It's a movie starring Anthony Hopkins, and it was actually pretty good. And it was about an exorcism or a priest that gets sent over. All right, so wait. The movie depicts a young person that goes to seminary in order to get his psychology degree, and then he was going to back out before becoming a priest, like a full priest. But he gets sent to exorcism school to learn how to do exorcisms, and he pairs up, or he gets mentored by Anthony Hopkins, who is an exorcist that's done like a whole bunch of exorcisms. And the movie goes through, and the obvious plot points where people are actually possessed, and the Anthony Hopkins character actually becomes possessed himself, and the young guy has to do an exorcism on him. So it's one of those based on a true story thing. So the problem is that in the movie, and I've only done a cursory research on this, so this is not like a full extent kind of thing, but in the movie, it's a very young guy that goes to seminary. He's not a priest yet, but in real life, the character that he's based on was already a priest of 50. He was 50 years old. He was already a priest when he went and took the exorcism class. A lot of the stuff in the movie, like the Anthony Hopkins character that gets possessed in real life, in the real true story, that didn't happen. That was completely made up for the film. And we see that with a lot of films. We see this with a lot of films like this, like the Conjuring films, where they embellished or completely make up things. Like the third Conjuring movie, 98% of that was completely made up for the movie. And that's what happens in the Right, which again, as a movie by itself, it was pretty good. I have no complaints about it. It was really good, but the based on true story kind of thing, it falls short. It really falls short. It embellishes a lot of stuff, and then it makes up things. It makes up characters. It makes up plot points to push the story, and it also makes it much creepier. Because that's Hollywood. So my thoughts on the movie, it was sensationalized. It was a horror movie. It was a generic horror movie. And I actually didn't think I had seen it, but once I started watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. But it was good as a movie, but the based on real life, it was just like any other movie that claims to be based on real life. It wasn't. So I hope that answered your question, and I appreciate the suggestion. It was really cool checking it out. Bob, if someone funded a grant for you and a team to investigate a cryptid of your choice for 1 year,
I'm in.
Would you quit your job for this one-time opportunity? And 2, what would be the one cryptid if you agreed to do it? And why would it be Bigfoot? I love that he answered it, because that's what I'm going to go with, because that's the one that has the most information associated with it. The least likely to be just local lore, because there's a lot of local legends. But Bigfoot, yes, that would be my choice, because I think that would be the I don't think there's any validity to the basic overall idea. I don't think Bigfoot exists. The evidence so far just doesn't suggest it, but that would be my pick. And would I quit my job for this one-time opportunity?
I would. Only comes along
You know what?
For a year. If somebody funded
If it was
you,
good, it's not just hey opportunity. It was like it's always like that romantic idea, like oh, I have an opportunity to investigate something that's really cool for 1 year. Yes, hell yeah. But I also have responsibilities. So as long as the grant covered the responsibilities at home,
exactly.
that everyone was taken care of, yes, I would do it. Because you only live once, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
And
do what you're happy with.
If I had enough money that I could do it, in a way that I thought was proper, and I could bring in people that had the qualifications and the background to actually do good research, then yes, I would. I would do it, and yes, Bob, you're right. It would be big fun.
I would love to do that Bigfoot
I would do it.
hunt.
I would do it, and I would start at the
heartbeat.
origin part. I would start at the. Oh yeah, awesome.
That's one, John. You're on the road here, baby. You might get 5 people.
Seriously, he wants 5 people who is willing to throw down $10 to have. It's $10 a month. It's not just $10 and you're like a one-shot deal. So you're in it for the long haul. But you're 1/5
I'm
of
here
the way.
for the long haul too, sweetie.
Son of a bitch. I'm suddenly reminded of when I put that challenge out for the one chip challenge with JD, and I was like, yeah, if we get donations up to $500, and then someone, Diana,
she's
donated
too.
$500, and I'm like,
hey, Diana,
you don't know what the fit that I had in the car driving, because I was like, Diana just donated $500. I'm like,
you gotta do it. And like, that's what you get.
2 minutes straight, I think I cursed. And was going crazy because I'm like, I gotta eat that chip. It's gonna kill me. This is it. This is it. This is the end of my career. It's gonna be publicized. It's gonna be streamed live. I'm gonna die on camera. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Why not? Let's do it.
That's what you get for putting
That's what
it out
I get.
there.
But it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. JD was a sport, and we did it for charity, and it raised a lot of money for cancer research. So absolutely worth it. And I would do it again. I would cry.
Question.
I would cry.
I would cry, but he would do it.
I would do it again. All right. So Heath, what do you think of the horror movie Showgirls?
Was that a horror movie, or is he just being funny? I don't know.
Oh shit!
Is that just one of those late night movies that you guys watch?
That was horrible. That was horrible. Showgirls is the one that really flopped. So, that was the one with Elizabeth Berkley. That's it. That just did so bad. She was like a stripper, and it was just horrible. It was horrible. It was bad. I think I only made it like 15 minutes in. I was like, nope.
Really?
No,
it was that
change
bad?
the channel. It was so bad. And that's like, that was a good one. That made me laugh. Whew. All right. Do we have anything else?
Trying to look real quick. There's a question.
Hey,
here.
Karen. I see Karen in there. Xander, do you consider the idea of God or religious experiences as paranormal? And could you try to prove any of them as explainable? All right. So, yes to your first question. The idea of God and religious experiences, I do classify as paranormal. And I have always classified it. Well, I was raised Catholic, so I had that idea, I had that guilt trip idea, like, God was real and all this stuff. And once I left religion, I did consider it paranormal because it falls under that. It's mysticism, it's magic, it's way beyond the normal. So yes, I do consider it paranormal. I burped. Could you try to prove any of them as explainable? So the God idea, you can't prove it explainable. It's just not. You're not going to prove it explainable or not real or real or whatever. I don't even bother with that. But religious experiences, that falls under the same idea as before. If it's a testable claim, then yeah, we can try to explain it. If it's something that is a personal anecdote, if it's a personal experience where someone, for example, associates a certain physical object or the appearance of something at a certain time, like butterflies. Butterflies are something a lot of people associate with reminders of loved ones.
And why is that a problem?
It's not a problem. I didn't say it was a problem.
Okay.
I'm making that clear because I see the look in your eyes. It's not a problem. But is it actually a indication that a deceased loved one is giving you a sign? There's no proof of that. Butterflies are something that are in our world. They are around. We see them all the time. At least I know, like we do. We see them because they are in our area. So seeing them, if you put an interpretation of, if I see a butterfly, that means my loved one is sending me a message. If you put that interpretation, that is a personal experience, that is a personal bias that you're interpreting that experience with, doesn't mean that that's what's happening. It's just a butterfly.
No, but if you, like, if I'm a person and I'm asking for a sign, like, hey, you know, can you show me a sign that you're here? And I, you know, can you show me a butterfly as a sign that you're here? And I see a butterfly. How would you explain that? You think that's just like
I see. This is where we get into a different debate where it's the burden of proof is on you, not me. I don't have to explain. It's not my job to explain why you saw that butterfly, because you have this idea. And again, I'm not saying this is wrong. I want to make that clear. But if you're interpreting that butterfly sighting at that particular time as an indication that it's an answer to your question,
right?
You're asking
whatever
to
show me a
butterfly. And there's a butterfly in an area where we do have butterflies.
But there wasn't one there before I asked the question.
Where was it then? Where did it come from? It was in the area.
It wasn't there. Like, I asked a question and a butterfly flies by. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. But we do have butterflies, like, especially for us on our front porch. There are butterflies that I've seen in the bushes.
Yeah, but they're not there all the time. It's not like you walk outside and there's a butterfly.
Right. I'm not saying it.
Okay.
And I want to make sure this doesn't escalate, because this is it's a religious discussion.
It's not really religious. It's just
well,
like
in this context it is.
Okay.
It's and I do consider it paranormal. Sorry you guys can't see her. But
do you want me to come in the view?
Yeah, you come on.
All right, here, let me just slide over.
No, you stay there. Stay there. I'll bring you in.
Okay. Hey guys,
Donna's on the show. Oh my God, it's the first time.
Oh my gosh, I am here. Wait, why do I look like I have a black eye?
Now I can actually look at you. Okay.
I look like I have a black eye.
It's bad lighting.
Okay. Yeah, I blame the lighting too.
That's yeah.
It's a shadow.
Yeah, because the lights are up here. They're all facing me. That's why
guys.
I look so good.
I am here.
And Donna is in bad lighting.
Doesn't look good.
She looks good. You look good.
Just the blonde hair.
So, but now I can actually look at everyone.
Instead of just looking off to the side.
So I guess it would come down to proper testing. It really would, because if we're sitting on our porch and you ask that question, there's a good chance that you're going to see a butterfly. There really is. The proper testing would go to an environment where there are no butterflies. We have control of the environment. It's an enclosed environment. And you say, hey, if you're really here, show me a sign in the form of a butterfly. Can you make a butterfly fly in front of me?
Mm-hmm.
And if a butterfly then flew in front of you, that would be impressive.
Okay.
Yeah. No, turn that off. That would be really impressive. And I would say, wow, we need to look into this, because we had control in the environment. This thing came out of nowhere. Where did it come from? we have to look into this.
But you had a controlled environment. Like, what do you mean by a controlled environment?
Controlled environment means that we I can look this way. I don't have to
Okay,
actually look
you
at
don't
you.
have to look at me. Go ahead.
Controlled environment means that it's an enclosed facility. We know exactly what's in there. So it has been. I'm going to go with extremes here just for the example, but we sanitized the area. There is nothing in this. It's a room.
He sanitized it.
Sanitized it. There is nothing in there. We've cleared it out. There's nothing in there. We know. We've checked it, double checked it, triple checked it. There are no butterflies. There are no bugs. There are no insects. There's nothing in here. It's just a room. You're in a soundproofed room. Nothing else but you. You asked a question.
Mm-hmm.
A butterfly appears.
Right. In a soundproof room?
Well, that's a good controlled environment. I like that. That's what
I'm not getting it.
Look at the camera.
What camera?
Look here.
I'm sorry, Wait, guys.
There.
I'm not looking at
Look
the
there.
camera.
So that's a controlled environment. There's no. We know beforehand that there are no butterflies.
In a box, there's no butterflies. But why would I ask for a butterfly in a box that had no butterflies?
This is why you're not on the show. Because that's the experiment. That's testing it.
Well,
If
I mean,
you
a
ask-
butterfly's not going to appear in a box that has no butterflies. Like,
Then that serves the purpose. That shows that, okay, it's by chance. It's not in relation to your question. It's not in answer to your question. If you're in an environment where there are butterflies, a butterfly is going to show up. There's a good chance it could show up. Therefore, it's not a good test.
But what is okay? So if we were in the environment, say we're on our porch sitting, we're just sitting there. We
This is
don't
the
see
after
any
show.
butterflies. We don't see any butterflies. Okay, guys, we're gonna do
Nope.
this.
That's
No
not a controlled
butterflies.
environment. That is not a controlled environment.
Okay, but I say, hey, Mom, are you here? Fly by with a butterfly. Say a butterfly flies by. Okay, once. Okay, we're like, all right, maybe. Okay, but what if it happens like 2 or 3 times when we asked it? Now, wouldn't that be like more? No, you would just dismiss it because
no. I do not dismiss it. I'm just telling you that's not interesting because we're in an environment that
you can
has
look at
them,
the camera.
and they're going to be in the area, so you can have the same one flying around. It's not interesting to me. And again, that's to me. That's me. To me, it's not interesting. If one appears in a soundproof box, yes, that's freaking awesome.
What else is going to appear in a soundproof box? And okay, so what if?
But we're talking about paranormal. We're talking about a paranormal.
Okay, we're in a soundproof box. Okay, and we ask a question, and there's a noise in the soundproof box. What happens then?
Did you make the noise?
No, we're in a soundproof box.
You're in the box. You can still make a noise.
I didn't make the noise.
How do we know? This is a hypothetical. So we need to stop this because now we're just getting the hypotheticals and it's not really going anywhere.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, a butterfly's not going to show up in a box that doesn't have a butterfly. Like, just
then what's the point?
I don't understand. That's why I'm asking the question.
So again,
how would a butterfly just appear?
We're talking about paranormal topics.
So you're thinking that the butterfly would be paranormal?
Yes.
To show up.
Yeah, from the beginning. That's what we're talking about.
All right. So okay. So I got to work on like all my peep friends like that died. Like I have to make them like just appear
all right,
as butterflies.
Let's go on with the next question, or we can wrap this up.
I just don't
because
understand.
It's
I guess
not.
I don't understand.
This is more involved than what we can do on this show. So if we have more questions, then great. If not, then we can wrap it up.
People like your blue hair.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. All right. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a butterfly. That was just.
Does it need to be a ghost in the form of a butterfly? All right. So up here, what Ben says, I agree with this. You can't only count the hits and forget the misses. So this goes on with confirmation bias.
Right.
So you'd have to do it many times to see whether a butterfly arrives more often when they are asked to appear than not. So,
And that's kind of what I was
and
saying.
that's,
like, asking
but
about
again,
it.
it falls into the issue that if you, let me give an example. I'm trying to think of a good example. So if I'm out on the porch, again, we're outside, we're on the porch. If I
Mhm.
say, hey, you know what? If there's a spirit here, can I see a mosquito fly by?
Oh my god.
It's basically saying the same thing. We already know mosquitoes are in the area.
Right.
So by
Yeah, but
doing that, by asking the question and waiting for a mosquito to come by and I see one, is that confirmation that yes, I was right?
yeah,
That there was a spirit here? No, it's not.
but there's way more mosquitoes than there are butterflies.
So if there's still butterflies in the area,
Yeah.
you still have the chance.
So
It's
I
still
should.
already there. So it's not a valid test.
Oh, so maybe all my loved ones are just biting me, saying, "Hey, we're here," because they love me. All the mosquitoes.
All right. Moving on. Moving on. All right.
What? Wait. Wait.
What do we got? Alcohol, bringing families together. Wow. I feel like it's Thanksgiving. I really do.
Stop!
Oh my goodness.
Stop! This is why we can't do a show together, guys.
This is why you stay in the background. You're out.
Take me off.
You're gone.
Take me off. I knew I was gone.
You're gone.
You see, we can't do this.
Oh,
All right.
fine. Patience.
Kenny doesn't have any when it comes to me.
I
Guys,
really
sorry.
no. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm doing good.
Okay.
You know, if
we just agree to disagree, and that's the problem. I mean, we have different
ideas,
yeah,
and that's fine. That's fine. But you can't expect to mesh both because you're coming from a more of a belief. You're coming from a belief idea, and I'm coming from more of a science belief, and they're not going to mesh. They're just not. We're gonna butt heads, and it comes back to what I've said before. You have personal beliefs, by all means, keep them. I'm not trying to take it away from you.
Right.
You know, you have them. That's awesome. It's when other people have their personal beliefs and they start forcing them onto others.
Right.
That's when I have a problem. Or when you bring it out, when you ask a question, I'm going to tell you how I feel or what I think of it.
Right.
And unfortunately, it doesn't always mesh, and it causes
just as
stress
I tell you how I feel
back. Yeah, you know, and that's the way it's going to be, and we're seeing it here. It's not. I'm not mad, and I hope you're not mad.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad or angry about it.
There's lots of energy in the air.
It's just a discussion, and this is just an example showing like it's not going to work. A discussion is only going to go so far before you have to stop. All right, so do we have any other questions, or can we actually go? We're like a half hour over, but I don't care. I'll stay.
We still have Xander brought this up before.
Could you debunk any of the miracles that Jesus did, like turning water into or wine into water? Didn't he turn water into wine?
I have special powers here.
We're not getting into that discussion. And walking on water, especially for the time period and who did it. So I don't consider them miracles at all. I think they are narratives that somebody wrote. People wrote books, they wrote stories, they attributed special powers. I mean, that's kind of like me trying to prove Superman can't fly. It really gets into that because it's a narrative, it's a story. You know, there is no other evidence besides the stories that were written and rewritten and stolen and rewritten again about the same experience. So it's I can't debunk the miracles because I don't think they actually happened. I mean, honestly, I mean, and I'm not being mean. That's pretty much like saying, hey, here's a comic book of Superman. Prove that he can't fly. Prove that bullets bounce off of him. I can't because he's a fictional character, or these are fictional powers associated with a real person. I can't. Wine into water would be more impressive than water into wine. I would, even though I don't drink wine, I would prefer the water into alcohol. I'm team alcohol. I would be like, no,
but if
turn that
it-
shit into wine.
Oh, it would be cool. I think the other way, Tiffany. I think I agree.
I would be more impressed and very appreciative and donate my money if you could turn water into rum. Then yeah. Don't start me on the stories of Jesus. They were written 70 years after his death.
They were written.
They were written. Yeah, that's what I said, right?
No, you kind of skip right over that word.
They were written. I think I just said it fast. They were written 70 years after his death. Yeah, I know. And that's like when I die and people write stories about me, embellish. Just embellish. That's all I'm asking. Please just embellish and just make me like awesome. All right. That's good. I think we're all cut off, right?
I think we are. When we were talking, I wasn't following the question, so I'm hoping I didn't miss anything.
This is your last chance. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to go over my announcements. So if you had questions that we missed, please put them in there again.
Yeah, John Kennedy does have one that I missed. John, this might be for a different show, maybe your own show, since you are
a patron.
A Patreon. There, this I found.
Kenny, can you bring me on to talk about religion and life after death? Yeah, let's do that. You know what, John? Let's what's next week? What's next week? What do we have next week? Do we have anything scheduled? I don't think.
You have to look at your schedule.
So I think I should be off next week for. Well, I'm supposed to be. I have jury duty.
Jury
wow.
duty.
Wow.
Say that again, Kenny. Say it again. What do you have?
Jury duty. I said duty.
Jury duty.
I'm scheduled for it. I have to call the day
Friday
before.
The 13th?
Yeah, I have to call before.
Oh, wow. Friday.
And see if I actually have to go. But I should be home anyway in time because I don't think they hold court at 9 o'clock at night.
No, you'll be home.
So I'll be home. Why don't we set this up? You can come on. We'll talk about maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week's theme will be like afterlife and religion. We'll go into religious
afterlife
beliefs.
experiences. Maybe if any of our friends,
good.
If anybody of our guests out there have experiences, because I think Teresa was it.
Teresa,
said something about
Teresa said that she was, I think, clinically dead or something like that. So next week, how about we do that? We do afterlife experiences and maybe religious beliefs. We'll mix it in there. So, John, you can come on and we can talk about that for a little bit. And if Teresa, if you're still here, if you wouldn't mind, if you would want to come on and talk about your experience, and we can get into that a little bit.
Yeah, or anyone else that's had a near-death experience or something like that. That would be great to have. I think that'd be a cool show.
I think that'd be interesting. Yeah. So we'll go with that. All right. So again, if you had any questions that we missed, get them in quick because I'm going to do our announcements. He'll do announcements and I'll look for I'm going to do
Go ahead.
Bob's announcements.
Okay, Bob's announcements are
Can you clear that?
Yep.
All right,
there
cool.
You go.
Thank you. So here we go. So only 3 right now. 3. August 20th to 22nd, which is coming up quick. Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun.
It's coming.
So basically, we're going to be out there. We're both going to be out there. Donna has her Lucky Tiki Creations.
Say that 5 times fast. Lucky Tiki Creations.
Lucky Tiki Creations. And I'm going to have my Skeptical Health booth. So you're going to see a physical booth like this up. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to see everyone. And I'll have some items out. I'm going to have my test items. I'm going to have the dowsing rod rig with me set up. So if you're in the area and you want to come by and try it out, by all means.
Dustin just popped in.
Dustin Dean, the mentalist. Holy shit, we got a celebrity in the house. I lost my train of thought. Okay. The Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. And I will also be in the dunk tank. So if you want to come out, if you're a ghost hunter or a paranormal guy and you're like, fuck that guy, you can come out and dunk me. I will have the dunk tank. I will be in the dunk tank. I have actually volunteered. I told Pam and Steve, Pam, who organizes the event, I told her that I will sign up for each day because I think I can bring in some money because it's a ghost hunting conference and I'm the token skeptic. So it all goes to charity. It goes to Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors and I believe Heroes for Hire, which sends like costumed people, cosplay people to hospitals to cheer up kids. So really good cause. So that's the 20th to 22nd. It's coming up real quick. September 25th is the Para Unity Conference. We also have booths. We both have booths up for that conference. And that is in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'll be out there, set up again. It's the first time I'm setting up at this conference. So it should be interesting. It's pretty big. It's a one-day event. And then October 9th, Donna will be set up.
I will.
At Selma Mansion with her Lucky Tiki
That's
Creations.
in Norristown, PA.
Norristown, and it's a psychic fair. So I do not have a booth to set up, but I will be there because I'm going to help her set up. And then I will be walking around annoying the shit out of psychics if I can. And I'm saying that as a joke and with love because I know some of the people that set up there. So if I can sit with some of them, and if they're willing, I'm definitely going to. And we'll see how it goes. So that's my announcements.
Okay, so there are a couple
I
questions.
was naked there for a second.
Before we
I hate
go.
that. Okay, let's get them.
This was an older question.
Oh,
David,
shit.
I did see this before, but I'm sorry I lost you.
What's in Kenny's special tea? Is it available on his site? No, it is a special concoction. All of my own doing. And it's basically tea, lemonade, and sometimes, most of the time, one kind of rum, but sometimes I mix in 2 or 3 kinds of rum.
And wait, the most important part is the mug that came from Vegas.
Yes, my skull mug.
Yes.
And we have several colors. We have orange, red, pink.
Donna's got red today.
Green. I think
blue?
We have a blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
we get them every time we go out to Vegas.
And
when
we missing out last year and this year, and I need a new mug.
Yeah, we need to get out there.
We
need new colors. All right, what else we got?
Hold on, wait. We got a few more. Somebody was asking about.
I love it. We're almost like 3 hours. Jade Kitten, the sponsor of this show. Awesome. If I wanted you to come hang out. Are you drunk?
I think too many energies for you, Jade Kitten.
So. If I wanted you to come hang out, would you charge?
It depends on where you are.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like,
we have to specify.
My life is right here.
Yeah.
If I don't charge for coming out to
things. On where you are.
If you want me to come out to an event, the only thing I ask is that you pay travel expenses. That's it. Depending on where it is. I mean, if it's like an hour away from me, no big deal. You know, I'll come out, I'll talk, I hang out. I love it. If it's some distance away and I have to stay overnight, I ask that you just pay travel expenses and like a hotel like overnight so I can stay. That's it. I mean, I don't really charge for my lectures or anything like that. Just as long as you can get me out there and get me home. I mean, I'm all for it.
Get you home.
get me out there and get me home. That's the deal. I got to go there and come back. You can't just strand me where you are. I mean, you can't keep me overnight. You can't keep me forever. I am adorable, I think, but
wow,
you cannot keep me. I'm already spoken for. I got my lock right here. Got my. Yeah, I'm.
She just really wants to meet you.
So,
but she can't travel easily.
Focus.
She says.
Focus.
There.
Focus.
Get your hand out of the way.
All right, there we go. I fixed it. Meet you, but I can't travel. It depends on where you are. You know, if we get in our travels, sometimes we do travel a lot. We love doing road trips.
Yeah.
And if there's conferences that are, if you know organizers of conferences, and depending on the current state of affairs, because we do have to watch travel restrictions right now. But if you know the organizers and you have any kind of influence and you guys want some kind of skeptical opinion there, then by all means reach out to me. And if it's on the weekend and I can make it, I'm all for it. Again, just cover the expenses to come out there, because I'm not rich. And although I do have awesome people that do subscribe to my Patreon, which I just put up last month, it's still, everything benefits, like it supports all different projects that I'm working on. So I don't really have a couple $100 that I can just drop on travel. So that's it.
Okay, Xander has a question.
How do I get a skeptic t-shirt? So you can go to, I think it was part of my commercial, but if you go to Teespring and look up scientific skepticism, and again, if you want to, the link tree that's on the bottom of the screen here, that's underneath the skeptical help bar. If you go there, you can find my Teespring store, and all of my t-shirts are listed there, all the designs that I have, so you can figure it out, and pick out, what design and or color that you like, and then there you go. And again, all that money, that was like a little fruit fly. I just caught it.
Wow, look at that.
Damn, my
He catches them
reflexes
better when he's
drunk. Don't mess with me when I'm drunk. I'll kick your ass and not even know it. But yeah, you can find the t-shirts there, and there's pretty good designs. I mean, I laugh. I think they're funny. I love them. Tiffany, next time you're in Vegas, hit me up. That's only 6 hours away. Drinks on you.
I know, that was pretty funny.
Nice, Tiffany.
We're hoping for next fall. Next fall, Tiffany,
I'm hoping, yeah. Because we've gone out there. I've been lucky enough to be associated with Skeptical Inquirer and the Center for Inquiry, which I do work for. I write articles for them, and I'm doing more projects for them now. So look for that in the future. But I've been fortunate that I've made such an impact that they've asked me to come out there and do workshops. So we've gotten free trips pretty much to come out there. And we've been
traveling while we've been out there as well. Like last time we were out there, we actually explored, which was really nice.
Area 51.
Yeah, we actually made it to California.
We made it to California, which was one of my bucket list items. Never been to California before. And not only did I get to California, I got to see the sunset over the Pacific Ocean, which was awesome. And we got to see our friends. We got to see Melanie.
Right.
Which is a friend of ours that moved out there, and I hadn't seen for a while, and we haven't seen since. So it was really, really awesome. So hopefully, because last year and this year, SciCon, which is the science conference, was canceled. Hopefully next year it'll be on, and maybe we can cross our fingers, because that doesn't work. We'll be able to get out there, and if I'm in Vegas, yes, I'll be announcing it. I'll definitely say, hey,
we'll be announcing it, Tiffany. Come out to Vegas.
Ooh, as part of a conference sounds even more fun. They're going to CA
California is opposite
direction. Is Utah. Okay.
But we've never been to Utah.
Yeah, we haven't been there, so maybe we'll make plans to go that direction.
Yeah.
Any haunted places out there we can investigate?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I would love to do that.
So I see your question, Xander. I don't think this will ever happen, but I know you posted it twice. So Kenny can answer it for you. Go ahead, Kenny.
So Zach, most of his social media accounts have blocked me. I can only see his social media if I go into a different account and take a look through my articles and speaking out against them and just other things, just showing that he's full of shit. Yeah, he's blocked me, and I've said this before. Sorry if I'm repeating it, but I'm also not allowed in the museum anymore, because I've written about several of his objects, so I'm no longer allowed in the museum. So I don't think he's going to accept an invitation. And I've said it several times. I've actually been on different podcasts where the I don't know what you would call them, producer or whoever was scheduling knew Zach Baggins or knew his agent and was trying to get him to come on, and it just never happened. And I don't think it ever will, because it just he's an entertainer and I am an investigator.
Right.
So we're not going to mesh. We're going to clash. That's all I can say on that. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it. If someone can get a show together where both of us are there or can be there and we can debate, I'm in. Like, I'm in. I'm telling you right now, yes, I accept. Just it's got to be on his part. So there you go. Mike, totally Kenny. Yes, I am totally Kenny.
And I am totally divine.
If they ever send you to Austin, I'll hit you up and buy you a beer. Austin, Texas. That's the only Austin I know. But yes, I definitely would come down there.
Yes.
I would definitely come down there. That would be fun. There's several places I would love to see in Texas. But yeah, definitely. And we'll see in the future. I'm doing more and more projects, more and more freelance work. So I'm hoping I'm building this resume
To be on the road.
to be something of a maybe. I don't know if it's going to be with an organization or something that I'm doing myself through freelance work, where I can travel and do this stuff, where I write and or film about investigations and stuff like that. So I'm trying. I'm really trying, and that's my dream. So that's what I'm working
for. Be there
for
at some point.
So yeah, at one point we're gonna hit all 50 states,
Right?
And then we're gonna hit Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where we're retiring.
In Canada?
Yeah.
We're
Xander,
retiring.
we already
I don't remember
Jason
agreeing to a
from
to,
Ghost Hunters. I'm answering a question for Xander.
but I didn't agree to retire in Canada.
Oh, well, I want to retire in Victoria, Canada, where the temperature is year round between 50 and 70.
That
Doesn't get
sounds
too
nice.
cold,
It
doesn't
does
get too
sound
hot.
nice. All right. Would you interview Jason or Grant from Ghost Hunters? So, good question, because I have interviewed Jason, and Jason has been on this show.
Yes.
He is a good friend of mine. We've talked. We're may or may not be working on a project together.
Maybe.
Wink,
maybe
wink,
not.
wink. But yeah,
Wait, can you wink again?
Wink, 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 wink.
Okay.
Wink.
I was just checking
I
to
can
see
do
your
it.
wink, see if it was still good.
Wink. So yeah, I've interviewed Jason. I've talked to him on this show. We actually did a panel discussion together at Phenomenology, which went really, really well, and it went over just like this show, over our time limit. So really good. Grant, no interest. I don't personally. I don't like him. And there's a lot of reasons why, but I just don't like him, and I don't think I would have him on the show.
No, I don't think so either.
No,
I
think I would.
With Jason. Jason
honestly,
will be back on.
I think I would have Zach on before I would have Grant.
Wow.
So there you go.
But Jason will be back on.
Jason will be back
he'll
on.
Definitely be back on.
Yeah,
in the
he
future.
was on
a few months ago.
A few months, yeah.
Maybe early June.
He was on for about an hour. I was able to lock him down for an hour, and we talked. And I mean, the guy's genuine. You know, like, and I touched on it earlier on the show. He has his beliefs, so a lot of stuff that he bases on his beliefs, but he doesn't shy away from hard questions, because I asked him some hard questions, and he does not get pissed off or butthurt when you disagree with him. And I did disagree with him quite a few times on different topics, questions and stuff like that. So I'll definitely have him on again because I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great discussion.
Hi, baby.
All right. We good?
Yeah, I think we're good for the night.
Awesome.
Yep. Thank
All
you
right.
guys. It was an awesome show.
Yes, you guys are awesome. Wow, we're almost at 3 hours. We're just shy of 3 hours.
Wow,
So
I didn't think we were
awesome.
that long. No wonder it's yeah.
So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tomorrow night, if you're interested, if you're not sick of me, I'll be on Three Tortured Souls. We start at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that's with Tim Vickers and Dave Schumacher. We're gonna do. What are we talking about tomorrow? I don't know.
Oh,
no, I do.
Okay.
We are talking about the dangers of the paranormal, like dangers in investigating or ghost hunting or something like that. That's the topic of discussion. Dave is in charge. So he's going to run the show. So if you're interested, if you have nothing to do, if you want to hang out and drink again, just like tonight, by all means, show up, please. I encourage it. If you want to see anything else by me or the work that I do, again, the link is in the link tree down here. Just go there, and all of my social media and everything is there. So it's a one-stop shopping.
One-stop shopping.
Basically, what it is.
It was a great night, guys. Thank you.
And thanks again to producer Donna for hanging out and doing all the hard work of going through the comments and questions. And you guys, thank you for showing up. You guys are the reason I do this show every week. You guys are the reason I keep going. If honestly, if you weren't here, well, there'd be no show because I'd be just talking to myself. But honestly, I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate you showing up, you sharing the show, you talking about it, you asking questions. The few that become patrons, I really appreciate it. I know it's hard, especially in these times. So I do appreciate it. It really goes to a good cause. It all goes back into what's going on here. So from me to you, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And basically, like, have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend, and never stop learning. And I will see you next week. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow night if you hang out. But if you don't, I'll see you next week. Same time, same bad channel. See ya.